Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And I'm back. I had some problems with the audio. I want to see if we can get this back off the ground. Apologies for that. Hopefully, you guys can get in here and we've got some audio. We'll see what happens here. Am I back, Ali Desh? Can you hear me? How's the audio? Good? Hear me? Good. Okay, good. Guys, apologies for that. Yeah, I started running out of battery on my computer and I had to take out the mic. I can't keep the mic and the battery together. Can't hear nothing. Can't hear nothing. Urban, I was worried I'd never hear your voice again. Gary Bettman muted me, guys. Gary Bettman muted me, and that's why you couldn't hear me. I had to give a couple punches to Gary Bettman, but I think we are good now. Guys, make sure to get the likes up because we got to try to get back to 35 likes. I'm so mad about that, though. I was trying to get to 45 to 50 likes. It's going to be a lot harder to do now without that, but it was the Rangers fans in Canada, exactly. Must have been because it was my first time joining a stream. That's true, Rob. It might be because of you also. Nathan says, Timo trade, good, bad. Good for the Devils. It's kind of wait and see for the Sharks. Honestly, I think the Sharks, if Shakir Mukhamadullin is as good as they think he is, I think it's a fine trade. But right now, I have to go Devils pretty hard here. So like I said, guys, if you can get those likes up, I would definitely appreciate it. We're going to try and get back to, I want to get 40 likes by the end of this stream. That is my goal. And how is the audio? Is it too much better or worse than before? It's probably a little bit quieter. You guys can let me know. Yeah, guys, like the damn video. Guys, thank you so much. You guys are the best. Yeah, they're talking about Jacob Markstrom. Yeah, he has not been good this year. And if PJ ever joins the damn chat, he would agree. Ali Desh says, Kevin, how many Carhartt beanies do you own? That's a great question. I have 3. I have this one, a white one, and a black one. I've actually been going I've been going naked recently. I haven't been wearing hats the last couple of days. Obviously on the streams I do. I mean, my hair doesn't look yo, it actually looks good. Maybe leave a 1 or 2 in the chat. 1, leave the hat on. 2, keep the hat off. Let me know what you guys think. So 1 to leave the hat on, 2 to keep the hat off. Let me know. Nathan says, what are your predictions for the final? You mean the Stanley Cup final, I assume? 1, because I'm jealous. I'm trying to think. And here I am thinking, yeah, I'm keeping a hat on because my hair looks bad. Me too. Hashtag bald. Yo, you guys are hysterical. Just like Bruce Boudreau. All right, I'll keep it on. The Pizza Hut is a nice arena, but man, do I miss the Joe. Yeah. Balds unite. Shout out to you guys. And thank you for getting the likes up. All right, I'll leave the hat on for you guys. You guys aren't too jealous. Yeah, I think I'm interested to see what happens here with Klingberg because it sounds like his name has been floating around. Guys, thank you for getting the likes up. I appreciate that a ton. And we're getting really close to that new soundboard. I'm really looking forward to that. Very, very excited to mess around with that. And hopefully the audio gets better because, again, I want to add some cool effects and stuff like that. I tried doing the Streamlabs thing. That didn't work either. So we'll mess around with that at some point. But at this point, not really much has happened here. Like I said, LA Kings get Brendan Lemieux, and Philadelphia gets Zach McEwen. And shout out to David Perron as he had a kid today. Shout out to David Perron. Shout out to Ali Dash. He says, handsome, young, muscular, beautiful hair. Kevin is the anti Ali Dash. It's all right, Ali Dash. You're still here. You're part of the goal line hockey community. We don't care. Shout out to Ali Dash, man. Jeff Merrick said Lemieux's name had been out there for a little bit, and the feeling was if the Kings were going to move him, they wanted to send him east. Rightfully so. That's part of the reason the Rangers sent him to the Western Conference, so he wasn't in the East. Now it's the opposite. I wonder what's happening here with JVR, right? You guys, JVR hope Leafs get him. The Leafs do not have enough cap space to bring back JVR, but Nathan, that is a great idea, but salary cap wise, I think that's the problem with JVR. His salary is going to be really difficult to move here. Columbus among teams in touch with Kevin Hayes. So the Blue Jackets are looking at Kevin Hayes. Interesting. The Habs have a couple of calls on Christian Dvorak. Interesting. And Seattle enters the mix for James Van Riemsdyk alongside Vegas and Winnipeg. Unless something comes out of the blue, the Oilers are done. And that sounds pretty official. Yeah, that Hayes contract, again, similar to JVR, going to be a tough deal to move. Oh, yeah, to answer your question. So Stanley Cup Finals. In the West, who goes to the Cup Final? Listen, I maybe this is me wanting this, but honestly, I would like to see Vegas go to the Stanley Cup Final again. I'm going to go with Vegas in the West. In the East, I'm going to go with Boston. They're going to continue their last dance storyline. Vegas and Boston in the Stanley Cup Final. What do you guys think? You guys are going to disagree with me, I'm sure. I think adding Jonathan Quick only helps them so much, though, because that's why I kind of hesitate. Because as good as Quick can be, I don't know. I hesitate with Jonathan Quick, though. Yeah, and this is from Chris Botta, kind of the whole Horvat thing. He said, when you see trade grades today, remember a month ago, almost everyone gave the Islanders a D rating for trades for the Bo Horvat deal. Today, he is signed long term, producing, winning key faceoffs, and maybe, just maybe, it makes more sense. He's 27. I give it an A then. Today, it's an A. Yeah, that's true. That's kind of what we talked about earlier, right? With Bo Horvat. Again, at the time, it looked like a questionable deal. Would he stay with the Islanders? But now that he signed 8.5, now the Larkin deal comes out at 8.7. It looks even less as bad. Breaking Michael Russo trades Starbucks stars in exchange for Venti Americano. Oh, man. Yuck. Brad Larson says Lane Peterson will draw in for the injured Corrali. Merzlikins starts in net. All right, so we'll see what happens for Columbus, because if they end up getting Kevin Hayes, that would be really interesting if we saw Kevin Hayes go to the Blue Jackets. He kind of would look good in that jersey, though. I'm not going to lie. So what are you guys talking about, the playoff format? Yeah, honestly, I think the 1 through 8 is definitely, I think it's the best fit, honestly. I mean, as much as it kind of, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of teams, right? Like, who wouldn't want to see an Islanders Bruins, Islanders Tampa, Rangers Tampa, Rangers Boston? Like, I don't think there's that big of a difference between the Devils, Rangers, Bruins, Tampa, Bruins, Leafs. Like, I mean, the cross divisions, I don't really care. I think keeping it in the East makes sense, but I think 1 through 8, I mean, obviously, I'd rather see 1 through 16, but 1 through 8, if I can't have 1 through 16, I would settle on 1 through 8, and I'd be okay with that. Yeah, Hallie Desh says everybody online wants 1 through 8 to return. Exactly. I like the 1 through 8, guys. I think 1 through 8 playoff format. Like I said, if I can't have my 1 through 16, I get it for travel reasons and stuff like that. If there's a second alternative, it would be that for me. PJ, welcome to the chat. PJ, he says Brad Tree Living is talking with Hurricanes general manager on a trade for Lindholm or Backlund, according to Elliot Friedman. Interesting. Nemesnikov got flipped to Winnipeg. Hold on. So Nemesnikov goes to Winnipeg. Farah Nalalji says, and this is from Bob McKenzie, suggests the JT Miller talk is still out there. Talks about a player being offered that the Canucks may not be interested in and trying to get a third team involved. What did I tell you guys? JT Miller to the Penguins is going to involve a third team and trying to get a third team involved. Just early talk at this stage. Oh my goodness. If the Penguins get JT Miller, oh man. And if Lindholm ends up going back, that would be interesting. LL77, welcome to the chat. Says any moves by Philly yet? I'm late getting here. So the Flyers have picked up Brendan Lemieux in a deal for Zach McEwen. So they get a younger player of Zach McEwen's caliber, right? Kind of a fighter, tough guy. And yes, Nemesnikov got traded to San Jose yesterday, and now San Jose, it seems like, is on the precipice of flipping him to the Winnipeg Jets. The old flipperoo, exactly. JT Miller, Crosby, and Malkin. Yeah. So the Flyers got a 5th-round pick in 2024 and Brendan Lemieux for Zach McEwen. And Zach McEwen is heading to the Los Angeles Kings. And I think that might be it for Winnipeg, honestly. Unless they're looking to add a defenseman, I think that might be it for them. And guys, if you can, try to get the likes up. If you're in here, make sure to like the video. PJ said, I wonder where JVR is going to get traded. Apparently, the Seattle Kraken, guys, thank you so much for the likes. JVR has been tied to the the Vegas Golden Knights, the Seattle Kraken, and I think one other team. I think it was Winnipeg. So now that Winnipeg might be off the board, let's see what happens with JVR. But more teams are falling out of the running for JVR. I don't. They might only get a fourth round pick for JVR at this point. Yikes. You're saying trade Justin Hall? The Leafs could do it. With what Kyle Dubas has done here over the past couple of days, would not surprise me in the slightest if they traded Justin Hall. Absolutely not. So Vladislav Nemesnikov to Winnipeg. San Jose gets a 2025 fourth round pick. And this is from Flyers Nation. This is funny. They said, maybe everybody has been too hard on Chuck Fletcher. Trading is hard when every GM in the league knows you're a certified clown who will get fleeced. Ouch. Not wrong. And James Nichols said Fitzgerald emphasized adding some size and muscle a few days ago. Cap friendly lists Curtis Lazar as 211 pounds, which would make him the sixth heaviest skater on the Devils, right? And now they added Timo Meyer. They add Curtis Lazar, a couple of bigger boys on the team. Interesting. Guys, thank you for getting the likes up. We're going to try to get to 40 likes today. That's our goal. What are you guys saying in here? If Flames sell off Lindholm or Backlund, I am personally hunting down Brad Treliving. It's a long name. It's coming from Elliot Freeman. PJ, he would have to enter witness protection. Yep, unless he gets Sebastian Aho in return. Yeah. Captain Mofungo, welcome to the chat, Captain Mofungo. He said, Devils adding beef. Yes, sir. Shout out to Captain Mofungo. I think this is the first time he's joined a live stream, but he's a big supporter. Anytime I post a Devils video, I always give him a shout out because he is always in there giving comments. El Capitano, exactly. Bill Armstrong's burner. Yo, this is good. Somebody said the Coyotes are going to acquire Connor Bedard. And that's the Arizona Coyote GM's burner account. That's funny. And there was somebody talking about the Flyers earlier. From Bill Meltzer, he said no trade so far, but the Flyers have activated Tanner Lazinski off of an ankle injury and Zach McEwen from IR. And like we said, Zach McEwen is off of IR, and now he is a member of the LA Kings. PJ says, Kev, why do some Islanders fans hate the Devils fans more than Rangers fans? I don't know. Okay, PJ. There's a little story behind this, and Captain Mofungo knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sure it's the same thing for Islander Devil games at Prudential Center. Story time with Kevin. Anytime there's an island, okay, it's specifically these two teams, the Flyers and the Devils. Whenever they come to Long Island, they bring buses of people to Long Island. And those Devils and Flyers fans in particular drink a lot when they go to the Islander games and they get bussed in, so they're not worried about driving home, right? And let's just say they get a little bit too aggressive and they drink a little too much. And that's why Islanders fans, specifically more than Ranger fans, do not like Devils and Flyers fans. It's the people that get bussed into New York. And that's the reasoning. And I'll leave it at that. Ali Dash says it's a Jersey thing, and it's also a Philly thing. It's a Jersey and Philly thing. They bust these people in, and they drink a little too much. Yes, it's from no, I know what it is. That's a South Park. That's from South Park. It's a Jersey thing. I watched South Park. Brock Besser to Winnipeg. I don't know if that's going to happen. I want to see what the Flyers fans think. They're probably like, why do we get Brendan Lemieux? Is Besser to Minnesota still a thing? I don't think so. I don't think so. I hate to say it, Ali Dash. Yeah, it's been floating around for 2 years, just nothing has really come of it. James Farrell, welcome to the chat. He said, any recent Isles trades? Did Lou give more of our draft picks and future? Not yet. Ruslan Ishakov is killing it in the AHL for the Islanders right now. I wouldn't put it past Lou. PJ says, I wonder when Brad Treliving is making a move. Maybe Lindholm or Backlund. And it's that, yeah, Urban says still quiet and mini. I might lose my head. They might be quiet today. And some of the trades that happened earlier today, Jacob Verana goes to the St. Louis Blues. Very exciting trade. Kind of interesting. They're taking a chance on a couple of guys, right? They bring in Kasperi Kapanen the other day off of waivers. Now they bring in Jacob Verana. Curtis Lazar goes to the Devils. The Canucks pick up a fourth. Bukestad went to the Oilers with Cam Dineen for a prospect and a draft pick. Vladislav Nemesnikov also goes to the Winnipeg Jets for a fourth-round pick. Yeah, so now things are starting to pick up here, and I expect things again at the top of the hour to pick up. Guys, thank you for the likes. We're up to 16. I'm trying to get to 40 today. We're trying to break our record. 40 likes is our goal. What's going on, Dennis? Hello. Welcome to the chat. PJ says Sparrow's Pizza is the best pizza in New York. It's Kev's favorite place. Yes. Anytime you go to New York, go to Sparrow Pizza. Best pizza in New York. Exactly. Shout out to PJ. Okay, so this is the Flyers cap space from Cap Friendly. So after acquiring Lemieux, they have 6.3 million in LTIR relief. They've spent 3.8 on LTIR, and their actual cap space is 2.5 million. So let's see what the Flyers do here. And maybe they find a way to retain some salary on Kevin Hayes. Maybe they trade Provorov. And they're talking about Nemesnikov getting traded. Yeah, the fact that we're talking about Nemesnikov right now, probably not the most exciting thing right now. Tanner says, I'm not even from New York, and I know that's a lie. Yo, shout out to Tanner. Yeah, I've told people we talked about in the past about New York. You don't wanna get New York like, get real New York pizza from a mom and pop shop. You never go to the big places. You never go to Sparrow. You never go to any of those places. But he's just making fun of me there because he knows how much I hate Sparrow. Who else is in here? LL77. James Farrell said, "The Isles are 0-5 in the shootout with 1 goal. I hope and pray that it never goes in another shootout again." Exactly. Yep. They do not do well in the shootout. PJ says the Devils are getting bounced in the first round. LL says, "Shout out to Nova Scotia in the house. Kevin, when you're available." Okay, all right. Big Flyer fan all my life. Flyers fan from Nova Scotia. Oof, that's a rough one. That's a rough one, LL. Shout out to you. The Flyers fan from Nova Scotia. James Farrell said, "I don't know why Toronto fans are so gaga over Luke Shen. How many teams he's been on? He actually was a Flyer. I believe he was a Leafs draft pick back in the day in the Dave Nonis, Brian Burke era. So that should be kind of interesting to see what happens with that. And I hate to say, James, their goaltending sucks. And I like Samsonov, but Urban said, "All right, who remembers the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza." Yeah, that's true. Chris, welcome to the chat. He says, "Yeah, okay." Not sure what he meant, but okay. PJ says, "Kev, when are you getting that board?" I'm hoping after today's super chats from my stream earlier and now, I'm hoping today I will be getting that soundboard. Hopefully, that is my plan. Maxime Korchesny Deloriers, welcome to the chat. He says, like most of offensive team goaltending is secondary. Okay, so he's a Leafs fan saying goaltending is secondary when your offense is that good. We'll see how that goes in the playoffs. Maybe. I haven't seen many teams do that, but it does happen. Again, they're looking at Colorado, right? Colorado was able to outscore despite not great goaltending. It has happened, but you look at the teams that have done it consistently, right? Tampa, even in their prime, Chicago with Corey Crawford he was big in the playoffs. Jonathan Quick on those playoff runs, he was really good. It can happen, but I would have a good goalie. But that's my thought on it. Yeah, Marty Brodeur. I mean, that's really going back, but yeah, absolutely, Urban. Yeah, the teams that had really good goalies consistently went on good playoff runs. PJ says, since the Leafs beat the Flames, I hope they never make it out of the first round. I hope Matthews leaves in free agency. Ouch. You guys are throwing flames at the Leaf fans. God damn. Tanner said, I went to New York a few years ago and had pizza at Surf City. How'd I do? I'm not sure where Surf City is. It's not Sparrow, so I assume you did pretty good. Now I have to look it up. You don't want the key is if it's a franchise pizza place, avoid it. You want to avoid the franchises. It's an Italian restaurant in Luna Park. Yeah. You Surf City restaurant in Brooklyn. Yeah, you're safe there. That's a good pickup. Dominic Hasek played on mediocre at best playoff. Exactly. Goaltending is huge. It is. And maybe last year was the exception to the rule, but for the most part, you need good goaltending. James says Varley to Toronto for a first round pick. I don't know if I want to trade Varley. I really don't want to do that. Oh, he's saying that's what I meant as a Habs fan. Leafs, Oilers, and other teams who are offensive based, they'd be gone by the first round. Need goaltending. Okay, Max. I thought you were a Leafs fan defending why they don't have a good goalie. Okay, I got you. You literally know what I'm talking about as a Habs fan, right? The run that Carey Price, even in 2021, but even a couple of years before that, that Eastern Conference run they went on, because of Carey Price and the second Kreider ran him, is why they kind of lost, right? Shout out to Maxime Corchesne de Laurier. I'm probably just going to call you Max. Great name, by the way, though. Nathan says he's going to make the most money in the NHL. Matthews will be moved at this time next year. I don't know. We'll see. I love how much you guys have so much hatred and contempt for the Leafs. I think that's hysterical. You guys are funny. Man DeLorean 9, welcome to the chat. He says the Devils just got Curtis Lazar and gave up a 4th-round pick. Yeah, we mentioned that a little bit earlier, Mandalorian. I think that's a good pickup for them. I think that's a move that, again, you're getting some more center depth. Overall, I think it's not a huge move, but it's a move that, again, behind Heishier, McLeod, and who's the other guy? And Eric Howla. That's a pretty good move for them. Nylander's underrated. I mean, I think he's a little overrated. I think just because of the amount of attention he gets, but he is a good player. I think a lot of Leaf fans to this point, like they're so nitpicky with him. Okay, so this is from Michael Russo, who's a Minnesota guy. He says, I honestly still wonder if it makes sense for the Minnesota Wild to add another defenseman, a Carson Soucy or Justin Hall. They have the cap space, and the fact they haven't reassigned or called Dakota Mermis yet means they're at the least flexibility to not waste one of their 4 remaining non-emergency recalls. So keep an eye on the Minnesota Wild looking for a defenseman here. Nylander would be perfect on Long Island. That's not happening now, though, James. That would be over the summer, maybe. And Curtis Lazar will wear number 42 with the New Jersey Devils. And guys, get those likes up. We lost a like. Get the likes up to 20, guys, if you can. I know there's one of you out there that hasn't liked. Get the likes up to 20 for me. I don't know what they're talking about. Guys, thank you for the likes. You guys are the best. Tanner says, oh, look for Gudis to be moved today. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He's a UFA this summer, and the Panthers aren't a playoff team right now. I don't think they want to move him, but if he's not extended here by 3 o'clock, Gudis will probably get traded. Great call there, Tanner. Captain Mofungo says Lazar is a move that motivates the 4th line. The BMW line has been stagnant. Jeffrey, welcome to the chat. Jeff, he says, hey, man, I think Buffalo will make a move. I hope so. I think Buffalo could make a move. The fact they moved out Anders Bjork earlier or last night makes me wonder if they're clearing up some room to bring somebody in because they got future considerations. They didn't have to make that move now. I think they're looking to do something here. So, yes, watch for the Buffalo Sabres. I wonder if they go after a guy like JVR for the right price. I'm trying to think who else. Radko Gudas would be a great fit in Buffalo, too. I think they're going to take the route of like taking reclamation projects, right? Like I think they were looking at Jacob Verana. I think the reason that deal didn't materialize is Detroit and Buffalo are kind of fighting for a playoff spot. But I think they were in on Kapanen when he went to St. Louis. I think they're looking at guys that they could get for cheap that can add to their team. Yeah, Jeff agrees with me. If I had to choose today, and Red Wings fans have agreed with me, they think that honestly, the Buffalo Sabres will get that playoff spot over the Sabres. I mean, over the Red Wings right now. Welcome to the chat page, Hart. She says, any trades by Ottawa? Um, I think the Senators could add another bottom six center. Yes, we have a couple of Sens fans here in the chat page, LL77 and Ali Desh. What's going on, guys? Yeah, the Senators could look to add another bottom six center. That's what we've been hearing. And Ali Desh doesn't think they need a center. Just recall Ridley Gregg. Maybe that's all. Maybe that's what they're waiting to see, right? If they can add somebody, then they'll add that guy. If not, Ridley Gregg will come up, right? There's no force to make that move. Cody Campbell says Sharks can still retain on one more contract. I wonder who it's going to be. I wonder if Kevin Labanc. Kevin Labanc's name has kind of been thrown out there. Now that Timo Meyer's traded, I wonder if Kevin Labanc gets moved. And they could retain the salary, right? It's the rest of this year and next year. That could be a really interesting pickup. That could be an interesting pickup for somebody. But again, salary cap wise, it's going to be tough for somebody to make that move now. I wonder if Buffalo goes in on Kevin Labanc. They've got the cap space. And Tanner says, kind of ironic. Marchand says Boston players take hometown discounts so they can continue being good. And Pasta takes a massive $11 million. I'm pretty sure it's 12 and a half for Pasternak, if I'm not mistaken. It actually might be more than that for Pasternak. James Van Riemsdyk from Austin Matthews. Yeah, that's a good one. And Mikael Granlund will wear number 64 with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So that should be really interesting. I wonder if Adam Henrique gets traded today. That's what I'm kind of looking at. I don't know how many teams are going to be interested, but I think what you're looking at right now, I mean, Ryan Poehling just came onto the ice for the Penguins. I would have said Poehling could have been an interesting guy for the Senators, but not sure what's going to happen there. And now that Nick Bonino was traded, that's another guy in the bottom six to play center off the board. Welcome to the chat, guys. We're trying to break 40 likes today. That is our goal. We had our stream earlier. I lost connection from the audio, so I was not pleased about that, but it seems like the adversity might be overcome today if we can get some of those likes. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Buffalo right now because they do have a little bit of cap space. So Jeff Merrick said one player to watch for teams looking at forwards, Oscar Sundqvist of the Detroit Red Wings. Oscar Sundqvist could be a really good pickup for somebody here. That could have been a good pickup for the Devils, honestly. I know Pittsburgh's had him before, but maybe Pittsburgh takes a waiver on him. I think Pittsburgh, guys, I don't know if you've been watching, but we did it on Cap Friendly personally. JT Miller could be traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins. His current contract, if it's his current deal, which is I think $5 million for the rest of this season before his $8 million per year kicks in, he could find a way if there's a third party involved where they retain 25%, Pittsburgh retains their 25%. There's a way his contract could be under what Pittsburgh has left in salary cap space. I think that if you want to talk about a crazy trade today, JT Miller, and my prediction is Pittsburgh would give up a first round pick this year and a fifth round pick in order for somebody to retain 25% of his remaining salary, I think there could be something done there. And we talked about maybe San Jose. Noah Gregor's name has come up. Kevin LeBank's name has come up. We haven't heard anything about James Reimer. I think that goalie, if somebody's looking for a third goalie in the goalie market, Thomas Greiss and James Reimer could be good third goalie veteran options for a team that's going for a playoff run that maybe behind their backup and starter want a little bit of help there. You guys are talking about Provorov. I don't think Larkin for Provorov is going to happen necessarily, but Ivan Provorov's name has been thrown out there. Kevin Hayes' name has kind of floated around. Potentially Carolina. Most recently, Columbus has looked at adding a guy like Kevin Hayes, so keep an eye on that. Oh, they were saying earlier, how good would it be if the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings played each other in the playoffs? Jonathan Quick versus Jonas Korpisalo. Oh my God, that would be a great playoff series. Korpisalo versus Jonathan Quick. Oh, revenge season for Jonathan Quick. That would be great. Nathan said, in your mind, who is the most underrated player? Who is the most underrated player? That's a good question, Nathan. I don't really know. What's going on, USA Hockey? What up, Goal Line? Cool to see you going live more. Yeah, I've been going live a lot more. I don't know. You guys seem to like it, so we've been going live a little bit more often. Oh, geez. What are you guys saying in the chat? You guys are freaky. I'm surprised that Chicago only got a second round pick for Max Domi. Maybe I guess people are thinking that he's going to end up going back anyway to Max Domi might end up in Chicago this summer. So if that's the case, I guess it makes sense in that regard, but and right now they have Connor Bedard on TSN, which is kind of cool. I love when they do the first overall pick reactions. I think that is so funny. Like at the draft lottery, when McDavid saw the Oilers, you could tell he was so mad. And that's why some people I do get the idea that he might leave Edmonton, but I don't know. I don't know. I think people try to draw more out of it than it actually is. Shout out to Paige. She says, just watching some hockey and finding out some trades. Glad I was shown this channel. Thanks, Kevin. Of course. So we have a little over 2 hours until the trade deadline. Barzell and Pajot not skating for the Islanders. That's not necessarily anything new. But obviously, as an Islanders fan, I was hoping to see Barzell and Pajot tomorrow. Not likely going to happen. Oh, no. Bar Down posted Jackets legend, and they showed Jonathan Quick's jersey going into the rafters at Nationwide Arena. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, how depressing is this trade bait board? So we got Nick Sealer, Connor Sheary, Philip Zadina, Jordan Greenwhite, John Klingberg, Dmitry Kulikov, Connor Garland, Joel Edmondson, Brock Besser, and James Van Riemsdyk. James Van Riemsdyk is at the top of the trade board. Yikes. Rob says the Wings will go out on a run at the end of the season, miss out on Bedard. Um, So the problem with the Red Wings, I think Ville Husso only has so much gas left in him. He's played a lot this year, and he's never been like in that starter role. So I question how long can he keep this going. You could say the same thing about the Sabres, but I think even a lot of Red Wings fans are a lot of Red Wings fans would actually rather miss the playoffs so they can have a chance at Bedard rather than getting the doors blown off of them in the playoffs against the Bruins, which I guess to some extent I kind of understand. LL says, "Oh, I hope he goes to East Coast to Philly on draft day." Oh my God, no. As an Islanders fan, we are coming on the end of the Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby era. I don't need more great superstars in the Eastern Conference. Like, let them keep going to the Pacific and the Western Conference. Keep them out of the East, at the very least in the Metro for a little while. Like we've had the juggernauts of we're just coming at the twilight of Crosby and Ovechkin. Just give us a couple years, please. Please and thank you. Pineapple, what a great name. I assume he's a Red Wings fan. Welcome to the chat, Pineapple. Pineapple says the Wings don't have a backup. They can play so Husso can rest a few games. Exactly. That is part of the problem. They don't have help behind Husso, and I don't know how much longer Husso can keep playing the way he is. And if you guys have not already, make sure to like this stream. We're trying to get to 40 likes on this stream. Thank you guys so much. Daniel, your boy. What's going on, man? He said, "What's up, Kevin? A bit disappointing with the lack of action today." Yeah, I kind of expected it. But you know, we have so much to talk about because of what's happened already at the deadline. It hasn't been too bad in that regard. So it definitely could be a lot worse. Captain Mofongo, he says, "No way. Keep Bedard out of the Metro." I'm with you. And Captain Mofongo, it's because of your team. You guys have Hughes. You have Heishier. The Rangers have Lafreniere and Kako. Get these guys out of the Metro Division. We already have enough of these first and second overall picks. The Flyers had their chance. They had Nolan Patrick. They blew it. It's not our fault. Keep these top guys out of the Metro. So we're hearing some more notes. Darren Drager said the Jets are out on James Van Riemsdyk. They did get Vladislav Nemesnikov. Dolly Wall says the Canucks are trying to move Connor Garland, but not easy to do so. Yeah, exactly. And that's part of the reason why JVR hasn't been moved yet. Jay Rutherford says the Blues have not asked Colton Parayko to waive his no trade clause, and a trade seems unlikely for Colton Parayko. Jeff Merrick said a player to watch in Detroit is Oscar Sundqvist. So keep an eye on Sundqvist in Detroit. James Van Riemsdyk's out in Winnipeg, and Connor Garland could be on the move in Vancouver. And Colton Parayko likely not on the move. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here. This is so great. You guys are awesome. We've been going for a while here today. And like I said, we're about to get 40 likes, which would be really good here for the channel. Break our record. Rob says Sonny will probably fetch a fourth or sixth round pick. He's had a pretty quiet year here. Yeah, I could see them getting that. I think Yzerman has just decided full just sell mode because he's actually been doing really well with the market this year. The way he handled, again, I talked about this a little bit earlier. The fact that they got more value or the equivalent value for Filip Hronek for Jacob Chikrin, that is Steve Yzerman working his magic, right? They got for Tyler Bertuzzi and Filip Hronek two firsts, a second, and a fourth. I think any fan base would take that any day. That's really good value in return. Hashtag Bedard to the Blackhawks. We will see about that. LL says, I got to go, Kevin, and you all have a great day. Action going on next door. All right. See you later, LL. Thank you for joining. Pineapple's right. He said, Red Wings are not in tank mode. We got multiple prospects that'll make the jump in the next few years. Yeah. So, what I think it is more, it's not that they're in tank mode. I think they're selling off the guys that they're not right. They're not going to use for a playoff run this year. And they're not, I think the Red Wings fans and the ownership kind of agree, right? It's either we go for it and try to make the playoffs this year and get potentially our ass whooped in the first round, or do we sell? We realize that we can get more draft picks and prospects this year and make sure we make the playoffs next year. I think that's really what this is about. And I think most Red Wings fans are okay with it. Interesting move here. So the Montreal Canadiens acquire Frederick Allard. In exchange, the LA Kings acquire Nate Schnarr. And I believe Nate Schnarr is a former Penn State alum. So shout out to Nate Schnarr getting an opportunity in LA. And we are under 2 hours until the NHL trade deadline. All right, so we're hearing some interesting stuff here. So this is from David Paginotti. He said some chatter with less than 3 hours till the deadline. San Jose wants a draft pick for Nemesnikov. They already did that. Winnipeg and Dallas looking at bottom six. Connor Sheary as an option. So watch out for Winnipeg and Dallas. The Jets also eyeing a bigger ad. So the Jets may not be done yet. LA is looking at maybe trading Tobias Bjornfot plus 2 firsts offered for Chychrun. Wow. So LA had a better offer for Chychrun, and they said no. Quiet in Calgary for now. So apparently maybe those Lindholm and Backlund rumors may not have been as true as we thought. And Seattle has been in the mix for John Klingberg, which is not anything new. So keep an eye on Calgary, because I think Calgary right now, to a lesser extent, if Tree Living doesn't make a move here, he's gone. Like, Calgary is not making the playoffs with this current format. Maybe he's just accepted his fate. I don't know, but Tyler was a UFA and Hronek had 2 years left. Okay. Yeah, and that's why the Canucks picked him up, right? I don't think they would have picked up a rental here, especially giving up a first-round pick. That doesn't seem like the Canucks' plan, right? So that definitely makes some sense. I want to see what the Flyers fans are saying. Fire Fletcher. Just keep tanking. A goalie has more goals than him. Groundbreaking stuff. Yeah, Flyers fans are mad. The most PO'd fan bases in the NHL right now currently reside in Pennsylvania. I think Penguins fans and Flyers fans are really mad with Chuck Fletcher and Ron Hextall right now. And as an Islanders fan, I kind of take some entertainment and enjoyment out of it. And some of my Devils fans probably do as well. So Pierre Engvall on the ice for the Islanders. Pretty exciting there. That happened yesterday. Yeah, so this was the report last night from Andy Strickland. He said, hearing 6'7" Winnipeg defenseman Logan Stanley has asked for a trade. Former first rounder is just 24 years old. Still no guarantee the team moves him, though. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe the Jets are looking to move Logan Stanley here, too. Pineapple says Hronek was a liability on defense. He was breaking out, but I think that is just a one-season deal. Won't replicate it in the coming seasons. All right, so we'll see what happens there. Rob says, I think Eisman definitely sold high on Hronek. Yeah, they got a pretty good return for Philip Hronek. I agree. And listen, he stuck to his guns on Tyler Bertuzzi. He knew the market, though, right? Like, that's the difference with Chychrun. Like, the market wasn't there for Chychrun. And at the end of the day, he kind of looked like the emperor with no clothes. He ended up kind of getting beat up on that, right? And he had an offer for 2 first-round picks and Tobias Bjornfoot. I think that actually would have been a better return, but it didn't work out. Countdown to NHL trade deadline. So we're under 2 hours till the trade deadline. Oh, man. And now we're watching the ESPN feed. So I don't know how much. Honestly, I like the TSN feed better. But guys, keep an eye on Pittsburgh. I think something's going to happen in Pittsburgh. All right, so this was from Josh Yehi, who's a Pittsburgh guy. He says JT Miller might come to Pittsburgh someday, but it's not going to be today. A source has confirmed. All right, so the Pittsburgh thing with JT Miller is officially dead for now. And I think to the relief, probably of Penguins fans. Jeff Petrie scored last night. Jeez. All right, what are you guys saying in here? You hate the Kings? Good heroic return. Yup. I think Besser got traded. Uh-oh. When did that happen? Paige says, who is your team of choice? My team is the Islanders. I'm a New York Islanders fan, Paige. Good question. Yo, we got a super chat from Ali Dash, $2.79 Canadian. He says, smash that like button or I'll smash you. He said it, not me. Shout out to Ali Dash, huge supporter here on the channel. Yeah, Tarasenko scored a nice goal last night. But honestly, the Rangers losing that game, Derek Brassard scoring a couple goals. Oh, I can't say I was enjoying. I did enjoy that finish there. Patrick Kane didn't score. Everybody was so excited about Kaner coming in. That was great. Okay, so we have a potential trade here. So Pierre LeBrun said, hearing that Pittsburgh is working to finalize a deal for Dmitry Kulikov from Anaheim. Penguins fans are going to hate that, but Nathan said, do you like the Patrick Kane trade? I don't like. What about you? I don't hate the deal. I mean, if the Rangers win a cup, who cares, right? They don't care if whatever. It's Patrick Kane gets to lift the Stanley Cup in New York. Kind of makes me throw up in my mouth, but it could happen, right? Then they win the trade. If this happened a year ago, this trade, they probably would have got a lot more for him. I think that's the mismanagement by Kyle Davidson is Kane and Taves wanted to stay and they just wouldn't re-sign them. So they ended up getting no real value for them. Pineapple said, I'd like to see Detroit go after Logan Stanley. We could use all the help we can get on defense. That might happen. USA Hockey says, did you like the Horvat trade? Yes. If the Islanders make the playoffs this year and that pick is traded out this year, yes. If that ends up being a top 10 pick, that's definitely a mismanagement and a miscall by Lou Lamoriello. It's a risk. But again, that's part of the reason the Canucks wanted to make that trade with the Islanders, right? Is that pick could be good. The Islanders weren't looking good at the time. That could come back to bite the Islanders. But if they make the playoffs this year or next year, I don't care. So watch here. Pittsburgh might have a deal. Curious to see what the Kraken do with 2 hours left. They need goaltending. Was told to keep an eye on the Ducks, who have 5 UFAs. Kulikov is certainly a fit for the Islanders, but it sounds like Pittsburgh has got him. Sabres are close behind Pittsburgh. Yes, they are, Nathan. Yep. PJ says, "Hey, I'm back. Any news on the Flames?" First of all, make sure to like the video, PJ. Like the video. But to answer your question, no. Brad Tree Living has done nothing. We've heard stuff maybe about Lindholm or Backlund getting traded out to Carolina or something like that, but as of now, nothing in Calgary. I don't know, man. Brad Tree Living is going to lose his job. So Kulikov has been traded to the Penguins for a pick and a player. So we'll see what happens there. Anaheim picks up probably a fifth and a player. So we'll see what happens there. Who is trading for Klingberg? Apparently, it sounds like Seattle has been in the mix. Oh, so they're talking about the Kulikov trade. Seattle is in the mix. I think at one point Winnipeg was in the mix, and surprisingly, the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't know how, but they are. And keep an eye on Connor Shearer. We're hearing that maybe Winnipeg or Dallas for Connor Shearer is potentially on the way here. Vegas wants everyone. Of course they do. Because they can, right? Nathan says, I got new Kraken are keeping an eye on Klingberg. Yes. PJ says, thoughts on Varlamov? He used to be the number one goalie on the Islanders. I think the Islanders are going to try and keep him. I think they're going to wait it out for the deadline. He said the other day he wants to be on the Islanders. He wants to be on Long Island. Yeah, he's a good goalie, and he's really good friends with Sorokin. And that's part of the reason the Islanders tried to lure Sorokin to North America. New building, his best, one of his Russian buddies is over here, and the Islanders were playing a little better with Barry Trotz and stuff. So, I mean, he served his purpose at this point. So if he's asking for too much and the Islanders don't have the money, he won't stay. But if the Islanders can find a way to make it work, I think the Islanders are going to try and keep him. They're talking about the quick trade. That was a tough deal. Yeah, they're talking about how they really did Jonathan Quick dirty. He signed a 10-year deal, and they traded him like 3 months before his deal expired. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're talking about, this quick trade. I mean, that was really that is sports right there. Like, I know a lot of people were commenting on my video, I was talking about it, and people were like, "Wait, why did they trade Quick?" They had to. It's really a shame how it kind of went down, honestly, but that's the business of sports. The fact they were able to get Korpisalo and Gavrikov for a first and a third, and that's it, they had to make that move. Like, they got really good value for those draft picks, but Quick had to go the other way, and that's really unfortunate, but I think once they see Gavrikov and Korpisalo in Kings colors and wearing the crown on their crest, they might ease off of that deal a little bit. Yeah, they're really upset. I get that. Yeah, the Islanders tandem is the best in the league. I think Sorokin and Varlamov, there isn't much better than that. Allmark and Swayman is right up there this year and last year, but it's been like 3 or 4 years of Sorokin and Swayman now. Really good tandem for the Islanders. PJ says the Oilers have a better goalie tandem. Of course they do. Of course. Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell, best goalie tandem in the league. Absolutely. Yo, this is a great comment here from Ali Desh. He says trades happen every year. As Urban pointed out earlier, even Gretzky got traded. People acting like they just murdered Quick's children. It's true. Yeah, they're talking to Todd McClellan, Anze Kopitar, Drew Doughty, all those guys. Of course, they're broken, but yeah, Ali Desh said it best. That's sports. Yes, Kulikov to the Pittsburgh Penguins. That is correct. It sounds like a draft pick and a player is involved. Third round pick and a player going to Anaheim for in this deal. Not bad. And Benino goes back to Pittsburgh. They added Mikael Granlund as well. Not too bad. Oh man, so the Blue Jackets got two new goalies from those two trades. They add Michael Hutchinson and John Gillies today. Interesting. And Kapanen, he scored his first goal as a Blue. Shout out to Kasperi Kapanen. I hope the best for him. Him and Jacob Verana. I hope they redevelop their careers in St. Louis. There's a really good coach there that's going to give them every opportunity to do well. Hopefully things work out there. So Real Edmonds, welcome to the chat. Did you already talk about the Lazard to the Devils trade? Yeah, I did a little bit. Welcome to the chat, Mike Gee. He says, Kevin, fire sale for the Red Wings. Everyone moving. Yeah, I think they're not in a rebuild, but they're gearing up for next year, if nothing else. Yeah, apparently they're selling the seat cushions at Little Caesars Arena. Yes, that is true. I wonder how it's going to work out though with Quick in Vegas because he hasn't been that good. Like, let's be honest, like as good as a goalie as he's been in the past, this year he has not been good. And I wonder if the Golden Knights are taking a bank on a guy that just is just an extra goalie, but it doesn't work out. But if he plays the Kings in the playoffs, I'm betting on Vegas all day. Jonathan Quick could move heaven and earth in that series. I think Kings fans are praying to the Lords they don't have to play Vegas because that could be really ugly. Pineapple says, can't wait for a few seasons down the line when Detroit, Ottawa, and Buffalo rule the Atlantic. Yo, that would be really interesting. Detroit, Ottawa, and Buffalo. I think it's very feasible. PJ says the Oilers beating the Hurricanes in the finals. I think the Kings could beat the Oilers in a playoff series. Last year, they took them to 7 games. It could happen. I think the Kings could beat, honestly, depending, again, if Korpisalo and Gavrikov end up being good fits there, keep an eye out for the Kings this year. Like, I like Vegas, but If they can get good goaltending in LA, they might have just figured it out. We'll see. Okay, so believe the player going back to Anaheim in the Kulikov trade is Brock McGinn. So Brock McGinn and a third round pick to Anaheim for Dmitry Kulikov. That's actually a decent deal because I thought that was a lot of assets for Kulikov, but they're taking on Brock McGinn's deal. So it actually frees up some cap space for Pittsburgh. Interesting. So Brock McGinn cleared waivers this week and carries a cap hit of 2.75 through 2025. Yikes. That's a lot. But again, they took a third round pick as well. And all that talk about Jacob Chikrin to LA did not happen. Tanner says Canes legend Brock McGinn. Shout out to Tanner. Mike G says Bertuzzi to the Brewers. Marchand is the rat, but Burt could be a rat junior, and I mean that in a good way for the Bees. Yeah, Mike G. And don't forget about Garnet Hathaway. The three of those guys are such a pain in the butt. That is going to be very interesting. That playoff series that the Bruins play, whoever's in that second wild card spot is like they are being sent to the slaughterhouse. Guys, I'm going to be right back. All right. What's going on, guys? All right. What are you guys saying in here? What are you saying? Bertuzzi to the Bruins. Yes. Ali Desh, I hope the Senators make the playoffs. This team is looking nice. Yes, that's true, PJ. Tanner says midstream palm run. Close. Close, Tanner. New York pizza, baby. That's how we do things around here. Yeah, everybody left, Rob. They didn't want to wait for me to grab my pizza. It's floppy. This is good. Oh yeah, I always fold my pizza. Of course. You have to fold the pizza. Not Sbarro pizza. It's called Pizza Iola. Very sweet red sauce. Very good. Kev, that door opened. The one with the jersey. Oh no. No, there's an alarm on this door. If anybody other than me opens it. I lock people and jerseys in that closet. Apparently, some of you have made the rumor that apparently I live in the basement of UBS Arena. That's also, I hate to break it to you, false. It did when I left. No, Ali Dash, it's not Sbarro Pizza. Not Sbarro Pizza. His Islanders shrine is in the closet? Maybe. The janitor, yes, you're right. I'm in the janitor's closet at UBS Arena. Damn, you guys are good. The Jets are 1-5-1 in their last 7 games, and that one win was against the Rangers. Just saying. PJ, I'm not doing it. Ali Dutch, the old Coliseum is still standing at this moment. Engvall said he's really excited to play with the Islanders. We'll see how that goes. Brock McGinn in a third to Anaheim. Pittsburgh gets Dmitry Kulikov. Not bad. Interesting report here. So apparently, this is from Josh Yo. He said the good news is the Penguins are 8-0 all time in playoff series when Nick Bonino is in the organization. A little food for thought there. Tanner says, too bad that doesn't matter because they won't make it. I hope you're right. Engvall said, Ali Desh says, Engvall is one of those guys that might benefit from a change of scenery. That's what I've been hearing. His underlying numbers are really good. He just doesn't produce. Perfect fit for the Islanders, honestly. That is literally an Islanders player. Mike G says, Kev, is your Barzell full-size cardboard figure in the next room? Unfortunately, I don't have that. Maybe some of the fangirls might be interested in that. Barzell has his lady fans. He does. I think of all of us Islander fans, they're the most upset. He's not playing. Ali Dutch says he's been down the depth chart in Toronto. Yeah. Apparently, during practice yesterday, Engvall was playing on the first line. I don't know, depending on if the Islanders make a move or not. Hopefully, he doesn't have to, but we'll see. I hate to say it, Penguins have won 3 straight now. The Penguins are starting to pick up some real steam here. And watch, now they lose every single game after the move. That would be incredible. So far, this isn't really fair. What are your guys' thoughts on the trade deadline? Who are the winners and losers of this trade deadline so far? Because I think it's kind of unfair to even do this right now because one of those 5th round picks that traded for, or the 3rd round pick for Dmitry Kulikov, might be the next star in Anaheim in 6 years. But of today, of the trades that were made, what do you guys think? Honestly, I think Ottawa did really well with that Jacob Chikrin trade. I think they did really well. As long as he could be healthy and in the lineup, win for them. I think the Rangers did really well with some of the trades they made. I would say Vancouver, but I don't know how I feel about, excuse me. I don't know how I feel about the Hronek trade. I think they overpaid a little bit for Hronek. Steve Yzerman won the deadline. He did really well. And like we've been saying, I don't think he's done yet. I think he did a real nice job with this team. All things considered, Chicago didn't do that bad. I think they would have liked to have gotten more for Kane and obviously trying to trade Taze and more for Domi. Yeah, so maybe they didn't. Let me know what you guys think. Surreal said, yes, the Pens had difficult time to put back-to-back wins together for a while. Yeah, they were really struggling. They were really struggling. Pineapple with a great comment. He said, I could see Yzerman moving either Sundqvist or Zadina still. Yup. Rob, what's going on? He says fans who love a bunch of moves won. And I agree with Pineapple with those 2 moving. Yeah, I don't think we're done yet, guys. I think now we're getting to the point where the bigger guys are kind of off the board, and now we're going to see the Kulikovs, maybe JVR. I don't even know what's going on with him. I hate to say it, I just don't think there's much of a market for James Van Riemsdyk. I mean, there's a couple teams interested, but is that kind of like a last resort sort of thing? Probably. Ali Dash said, is Josh Bailey really on the 4th line? Ouch. Yes, he is. Yo, we got a super chat from PJ. Thank you so much, PJ. $2.79 Canadian. He says, if the Flames make a trade, I might have to donate more. All right, so we need them to trade their draft picks because PJ needs to help me out. Guys, I'm so close to getting my soundboard. It's a Stream Deck soundboard, and I'm very close to getting that. So definitely going to the PJS. It's turning into the PJ soundboard at this point. I might be calling it that at this rate. So thank you so much, PJ. Surreal says, I also can't wait to see Timo suit up for his first game as a Devil. Yup, we're probably going to see that. I think Sunday is the next time they play. Either tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday, this weekend. Pineapple says, I kind of hope Detroit moves someone so I can see Soderblom play the last few games this season. He probably will. I think that's part of the plan, right? They want to see more of Zadina, Soderblom, even more of Jonathan Berggren, some of those guys. I think that's a real possibility at this point for them. Yeah, they're trying to build up some hype around Connor Bedard here. They're talking about him getting drafted. Kev, how close are you from PJ? I haven't looked, but I know the other day I got 90, and I think a couple of days ago you guys gave me 20, so I'm pretty close. I don't know. What you guys sense of Kyle Davidson? They're showing him on an interview right now. I don't know, man. Tanner says Daily Faceoff has Ned as a goalie to watch. Oh my god. If Ned gets traded for a first round pick, Steve Eisenman must be mesmerized. Oh, here we go. Yo, we got a super chat. We got a big one here from Ali Desh, $27.99 Canadian. This donation is contingent that you name it the PJ soundboard. All right, it's official. It will be the PJ soundboard, and I'll be ordering it tonight. Thank you so much, Ali Dash and PJ. You guys are huge supporters here on the channel, not only through the super chats, that as well, but even commenting for years on my videos and stuff. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And I hope to know more of you guys here over the next couple of years. And it's really been awesome. This deadline has been very boring, but we've somehow managed to make it till 2 o'clock here, just talking about stuff. You guys are the best. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys are the best. Pineapple says Eiserman will send Ned back to Carolina for a first somehow. PJ says, I hope to come to New York one day and meet you. Absolutely. Absolutely, PJ. Yeah, for a first somehow. That would be great if they could trade Ned for a first. Who knows? Eiserman has his ways. Goal Line Hockey meet and greet party, summer of 2024. Ali Desh, that's something we could work on. Bro, the Penguins just keep getting older from Javante. Yeah. Yes, they are. Especially with Kulikov. He's got to be like 40 now, right? 38, 39, 40. This has to be so annoying for James Van Riemsdyk. He's probably like, can I just get traded now? Ali Dash said, everyone in Pittsburgh is 37. If you're 22 and get traded there, you instantly turn 37. Scientists can't figure it out. Yeah, look at Jake Gensel, right? Tanner says Habs are the third party in the Benino trade. Oh, interesting. So they retain some of the salary. What the heck? I don't know what they're doing here on this stream, but trade deadline bingo. Chicken parm eaten on any broadcast. Oh, I could have done that. Oh well. PJ's gonna do a 100-pound dumbbell chest press with me. Wish me luck. Yo, shout out to PJ with 100-pound dumbbell press. Tanner says somewhere along the way, the Wings signed John Lethman for the rest of the season today. I don't know who that is. John Lethman. I don't know. Oh, goalie insurance. Oh, okay. Maybe they are moving Ned. Yeah, I got to say, this ESPN broadcast, guys, I don't know about you. It's not great. Not a huge fan of the ESPN stuff. Yeah, Rob says ESPN sucks. Yeah, true. True. It's not very good. Yeah, so they're talking right now about Carlson. He's not going to get traded. We haven't heard really anything since the Ekholm trade. I think once the Oilers were out, that was it. Nobody's willing to make that move. They have Logan Couture too. Unfortunately, ain't going to happen. Jeff says it's awful, but not as bad as the TNT announcers. Yikes. So you don't like Biz Nasty? Bissonette? Ali Desh says, I think hockey would be more popular in the States if all the broadcasters didn't suck. That's probably true. That's probably true to some extent. Yeah, the ESPN broadcasts. I mean, and I listen. I'm not gonna be the one to say like girls shouldn't do it, but the one girl that does it, I forgot her name. She is really bad. Like, doesn't even know what she's talking about. Even the guy, he like none of them knew what they were talking about. Like, I think there was a game where Matt Barzell scored like his like 300th NHL goal. They didn't even mention it. Like, they just don't know what they're talking about. Oh, Biz is the best, but the rest have no idea what they're talking about half the time. Exactly. It's just and it's cringe. I mean, I hate using that word, but it is. Like they don't like they're talking about weird stuff. Yeah, MSG isn't bad. The Devils, Islanders, and Rangers broadcast is not terrible. And Buffalo, they do have Marty Buron, but other than that, it's not too bad. I could live with it. Yes, Tanner says, can we all just agree Leah Hextall needs a different job somewhere else? Yeah, that's it. Is the worst thing to happen to this league. Yeah, that's true. Yep. Exactly. So who do you guys think wins the Norris? Do you guys think it'll be Carlson? Yo, we got a super chat from PJ. His new PJ soundboard. He wants to add some extra for the next thing I need to get. PJ with $27.99 Canadian. He says, having a good day, 99.9% due to a goal line hockey stream. That's right. That is 100% right. Thank you, PJ. You're the man. as always, and Ali Dash. Shout out to you guys with the big super chats. Shout out to you guys. I'm getting the impression that the Minnesota Wild do have options if they want to trade Goligoski, and he was willing to waive. For that to happen, I think that the Wild would need to acquire a depth defenseman, though. So we are looking at the potential here of the Minnesota Wild making a move here. Rob says, I think we need a new defenseman trophy for guys who actually play defense. The Norris can be an offensive trophy. Yeah, that's part of the problem now, right? Who's the better defensive defenseman and who's the better offensive defenseman? That's very true. And have the Bobby Orr as a statistical award. Yeah, they could do that too. And guys, could we get one more like? We have 39 likes. We're stuck on 39 likes. I want to get to 40 likes here. One more like, guys. Who wants to be the 40th like? We have the Selkie for best defensive forward. Exactly. Yup. Same exact thing. You have 40 on my end. I'll have to look. It's still showing 39. Maybe it got stuck. I don't know. You guys see 40? Okay, maybe it's just not loaded for me yet. Maybe. Jeff says, as a Buffalo fan, I really hope Dahlin is at least mentioned in the running. He should be, absolutely. And he's actually back on the ice today, so that's good news too. Okay, if you guys see 40, okay, there we go. Now I see 40. Thank you guys. So we got to 40. Now I see the 40. Maybe Ali Desh does a little magic here to get us to 40, but shout out to Ali Desh's son's account. Brendan Lemieux to the Flyers. That one's going to be very interesting, to say the least. 41. All right, good. Yeah. Thanks, Ali Desh. On 3 different accounts. Yo, that is commitment right there from Ali Desh. As part of a 3-team trade. So the Canadiens acquire a 2024 5th-round pick and defenseman Tony Sund from the Sharks as part of a 3-team trade. So we don't actually know what the other pieces are. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is part of the Nick Bonino trade. All right, that's not anything. That's just becoming official. All right. Cyril says Hamilton might get a nomination. He's been killing it on the power play. Yeah, that's true. I think that's a really good argument. I mean, again, there's so many defensemen though. That's the problem, right? But he's definitely a top, I would say at the very least top 10, if not even maybe top 5, arguably top 5 defenseman this year. And nobody's really talked about Dougie this year. Tanner says, interested to see what Trotz can do in Nashville. Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I'm going to be cheering for him as an Islander fan. I want to see him do well because, again, he was a really good coach for the Islanders. I'd love to see him successful. Things have been a little quiet, guys. I gotta admit, I'm a little sleepy. Even after my pizza, now I'm ready to take a nap. Damn. They're talking about Cam Talbot. Yo, we got a super chat from my girl Ange. $1.99. She says, "Hey you." That's a very nice animation, and she's getting her car today. So shout out to her. Hopefully she likes it. I assume she does if she's buying it, but Angela chicken parm for Zeta. That's funny. Full details on the Benino trade. Yeah, they're talking about the Benino trade. That was a good pickup for Pittsburgh, but again, I don't know. I think what's going to be interesting in the Eastern Conference playoff race is the Islanders are only 4 points ahead of Buffalo, but Buffalo has 4 games in hand. But Buffalo is going to have all those games between now and the end of the season. Are they going to be able to win a lot of those games? I don't know. It might be a detriment having those games in hand. We'll see. So Pittsburgh gets Nick Bonino. San Jose gets Arvid Hendrickson, a 2023 seventh, a 2024 fifth. Montreal gets Tony Sund, a 2024 fifth, and the Habs retain 50% of the Bonino deal. Yeah. I mean, come on. We need some more. We need better trades than that now. The fact there's so much stuff about a Bonino trade, come on. We need more than that. Trade deadline day. Yeah. I would say trade deadline. Because everything happened already. Imagine all the trades that have happened this week happening today. That would have been crazy. But I think for the most part, we're not going to get too much craziness here down the stretch. So in terms of winners and losers, like I said, it's kind of tough to do. I mean, LA, I think, is the most polarizing one because they could really win this deadline or really lose it, depending on what happens with Korpisalo and Gavrikov. I mean, obviously trading quick. Vegas did really well. They got a goalie. They got some help up front, right? They added Ivan Barbashev. Toronto did a lot. Oh, so Pasternak did sign. I thought Pasternak signed for 12.5. It was a little less than that. So that's a good move. Detroit did really well. They were a last-minute seller, and they made out like bandits. Steve Eisman, shout out to him. A really good deadline for him once again. St. Louis did really well because I think they're going to hold on to those picks at this point. I think with Timo Meyer and Chikrin off the board, they were willing to move them for those players. At this point, there's nobody worth moving all those draft picks for. So they've got 3 first-round picks this year, and if we get to the draft and those, there's no good lottery picks, St. Louis could sell them off and try and get guys during the summer. They could try and add to their team. So I think St. Louis did really well. Washington did really well for the most part. I think they overpaid on Rasmus Sandin. I think he was a 7th defenseman in Toronto that the Leafs were able to just cash in some value for. Definitely not worth the first round pick. but nonetheless pretty good. Nashville did really well at the deadline. They moved out Ekholm, Jeannot, Granlund, and Niederreiter. And you look at the return they got. They got 2 first-round picks combined with Granlund and Niederreiter. They also traded out Ekholm and Jeannot. They got potentially 2 first-round picks, 1 definite, a potential second, and another couple of draft picks. I mean, they did really well. I think Nashville buying into the idea of selling off, I think, was the best thing they could do here. And they're freeing themselves up of some cap space. And if they want to make a move here fairly soon, they can do that. And what Cyril said, I think the Maple Leafs did a good job. Yeah, I think the Leafs did really well too. Um, Again, I think it comes down to the goaltending. If the Leafs could lose this deadline very easily if they don't have good goaltending in the playoffs, and Dubas is going to take a lot of heat for not picking up a goalie if that ends up being the main problem. They put all these good players around, but if you don't have a good goalie, it might not really matter. So that is my one complaint I would say for the Leafs at this point. But at this point, they've played well. They're a playoff team this year. It's going to be a real grind those first 2 series, and then the best team in the Metro and the best team in the West. It's not going to get any easier for the Leafs in the playoffs. Blues Freak said, "Was the Chychrun trade good?" For the Senators, yes. For my Senators fans, it was a great trade. For the Coyotes, I think that was Bill Armstrong overplaying his hand. This is the deal we've waited over 2 years for, and it just didn't really turn out to be that good. Like it was a deal that at the time, right now, it's one of those things. If that ends up becoming another first round pick, a first and 2 seconds, okay, that's a little better. If that ends up just being 3 second-round picks, they're going to be really disappointed with that deal. And the fact that Tobias Bjornfot and 2 first-round picks were available from LA, that was mismanagement by Bill Armstrong. He, like I said earlier, he looked like the emperor with no clothes. He kind of showed his true colors. The value of Chychrun really wasn't there, and he had to, not to say it was a discounted price, but it definitely wasn't what we were expecting it to be. And Blues Freak also said, and also, do you think that Arizona will stay or will they relocate? I think they're going to stay. I think Gary Bettman just put in a 30-year agreement to keep the Coyotes in the state of Arizona. So, to the dismay of everybody outside of Arizona, probably for the next 3 decades, at the very least, the Arizona Coyotes will be there. So, anybody waiting for that one, you're going to have to wait a while. Don't hold your breath on that one. Ali Dash's Chychrun trade is one that can be good for both teams. You never know how those picks will turn out. Sens win today. Arizona could be happy in a couple years. Look at the Carlson trade. Ottawa fans were furious. Yeah, that's true. But the difference, and this is something that they brought, I saw something earlier today. They were talking about how the value of a player that's drafted after 21st overall in the NHL draft, the chances of them playing over 100 games in the NHL is like 2.4%. Anybody that's drafted over 21st overall, which is basically a non-playoff draft pick in the first round, there is a 2.1% chance, 2.1 or 2.4% chance that they play over 100 games in the National Hockey League. From pick 22 to the last pick in the 7th round, which is kind of interesting. And that maybe brings up the point, Julian Breezeball brought up the point in his press conference the other day. He said, listen, and they're talking about Jeannot now. We don't care, like that first round pick, that second, third round pick that's going to be here in 7 years from now doesn't help us. It's not going to do anything for us. So we'd rather use the value now to get somebody that can help us. And I think that mindset is a really good one because that ended up being a kind of a copycat situation where we saw the Leafs do the same thing. We're seeing some of these other teams give up not only this year's first round pick, but next year's first round pick as well. And I think that kind of changes the market and makes things quite interesting. So definitely keep an eye on that. But I think this is something that right now, with the way this season has gone, multiple big trades, and a lot of that, again, Julian Breezeball, the Tampa Bay Lightning GM, kind of setting the market out. DeHaan is better than Chatfield. Uh-oh. But that's true. That's even how I look at the Sharks trade with Timo Meyer. Like, it's very similar, right? The two biggest trades were like, well, the team that got the player really won the deal. They didn't get as much as we thought they would. If Fabian Zetterlund and Shakir Mukhamadullin turn into a top 6 forward and a top 4 defenseman, then nobody cares about the other stuff, right? So, we'll see. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, Ali Desh says that's how it goes when you trade now for future, so both teams can win. Exactly. Shazam, welcome to the chat. He says, hey, Kev, what is our team doing today? Making a move or standing pat? What do you think of Athanasiou? If you're talking about the Islanders, what do you think of Athanasiou? I think the contract might be too much, but I get what you're saying here. In the hizzy Isles, yes. Okay. I mean, if I'm the Islanders right now, I think they need another defenseman, a puck moving defenseman. I'd be shocked if they weren't in on John Klingberg. I think John Klingberg would be a great fit for the Islanders just to help out Noah Dobson so he's not having to play top power play. The Islanders power play is brutal. If you had a guy like Klingberg, I think that would help. I mean, I don't really see the Islanders doing too much. I hate to say it. I'd love to see them get another forward. Like I think they should have been more on guys like Nick Bukestad. I think he would have been a good fit. I still look at Lawson Krause. If I was the Islanders, I'd be looking at Lawson Krause and seeing what the Coyotes want for Lawson Krause. He's put up like 20 or 30 points this year. I know Ali Desh doesn't like him. Yeah, that team was bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where, yeah, like I said, I don't want the Islanders to sell, right? You're not trading Parise, Varlamov, or Mayfield. I've made that argument in the past, but right now, I think they should. Oh, I thought you said you didn't like Lawson Krause. Oh, you do like Lawson Krause, but you didn't want to give up because I had a proposal. It was Lawson Krause and Jacob Chikrin. I think it was for this year and next year's first for Ottawa, Eric Brancham and Shane Pinto. And that seemed like a realistic trade at the time, but I think Ottawa would have rather done the trade they did than that trade, of course. So I was saying I didn't want to trade Pinto or Greg for Chick and Krause, right? Because if you got Krause with Chikrin, it would have costed Pinto. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, Rob said he brings up a good point. He said, I think there might have been a lot of underlying issues with Verona last year, getting injured in the preseason and missing a lot of the year. That Mantha Verona trade is looking lose. Yeah, honestly, right? And everybody thought that was such a good trade for everybody. Yeah, no, absolutely not. And it sucks. I liked Verona. I've watched him in Hershey with the Hershey Bears, so I'm definitely disappointed to see he's struggled a little bit. I hope the best for him in Detroit. I'm in St. Louis. Same thing for Kapanen. I like those guys that have they're kind of at the bottom. They get traded for a 7th round pick, and then they end up doing really well with more ice time. I think that's really something that you're looking at with those guys. Kind of the Blues are becoming the new misfit team, right? Ali Desh said, I thought Mantha was decent in Washington. Guess I haven't been paying attention. Yeah, he's been injured a lot and not very productive when he's been in the lineup, not very noticeable. Now, at least that's what I've seen from him. That's kind of the argument I think he's making. But I think the Islanders should look at Lawson Krause. I think that's a guy I've really liked for a long time. Christian Fischer as well. He's more like another Pierre Engvall, but those kind of guys, like they fit what the Islanders are doing. Mantha's lazy. Yeah. I think that's part of the reason that the Red Wings traded him, right? That was a big reason why they let him go. And Rob, what's funny is what you're saying about, his size and skill. He's a big guy that plays. Let's just say he's a 6'3" guy that plays like a 5'8" guy. And I think that's kind of the same story with the Islanders getting Pierre Engvall, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens there. Blues Freak, which team has had the best trades? Yeah, we've kind of been talking about that. I think the Red Wings did really well. Like I said, Blues Freak, shout out to your team. I think the Blues did really well. I think they've given themselves a lot of flexibility going into the summer. If those first round picks hit and those are top 10 picks, their own pick maybe becomes a top 3 or a lottery pick, they could do some moves there. And if some of those picks end up being like a late 20th overall selection in the first round, whatever, maybe trade those guys for immediate help next season, right? Maybe pick up a goalie for one of those first or second round picks, right? And I think that flexibility is really going to help the St. Louis Blues going into next year because they've got a lot of really good pieces already there. I think they could kind of add on to that. And another thing, like I said, I think the Red Wings did really well. The biggest losers, I think, were some of the teams that really did nothing. I think the Coyotes lost with the Chikrin trade. That kind of hurt them. I think the Flyers doing nothing is just baffling. They're out of the playoffs. They should at least trade Nick Seeler here or Justin Braun or somebody. But I think they've been so bad. There's no market for anybody in Philly. Provorov, right? Like there's guys they could trade. They just haven't. I don't know what's going on with Chuck Fletcher. Winnipeg, same thing. I think Winnipeg, I wish they did a little bit more, honestly. I think they should have gone for it. This is their year, and they're not really sending a great message. Again, James Van Riemsdyk and stuff like that are good, and maybe Connor Sheary, but we'll see. Yep. Bonino went to the Penguins in a 3-team trade. It was Montreal, San Jose, and Pittsburgh. Yep. Yeah, Nick Bonino back in the day was a good player. He was a good player for the Penguins. He's definitely fallen off, though. I'm really surprised that they even bothered going for him. I mean, I get the sentimental thing. Like I said, maybe they're trying to win back the fans there in Pittsburgh, but I don't know if bringing in Nick Bonino is going to fix that. Damn, the Devils 9-2-1 in their past 12 games. And this is before Timo Meyer stepped on the ice with the Devils jersey on. Damn. 22 games left, 10 at home. Yeah, the Devils are the second team to get 40 wins this season behind the Bruins. Who would have thought that, right? The Devils, man, 85 points already. And they might end up winning the division. How crazy would that be? Jeez. Cyril says, yes, crazy game versus the Avs. Devils almost blew it, but hung on 7-5. Win also 14 points in last 2 games. Wow. Yeah, they're talking about the Devils. They really are good this year. Jesper Bratt, Jack Hughes having just like breakout seasons. And the even more sickening thing is the Devils can still add, right? Like they can add guys that are in their system. Luke Hughes, Simon Nemec, um, Dawson Mercer is going to be here forever now, right? Trying to remember Alexander Holtz, right? I mean, that's 4 guys right there that are kind of seismic pieces to the Devils that haven't even really played that much. Very exciting to look at the Devils moving forward. All right, guys. So it is official. So the Buffalo Sabres have acquired Jordan Greenway for a draft pick. So the Minnesota Wild make a move. Jordan Greenway is a decent fit in Buffalo, though. See, that's the thing, though. You needed to find a team that was willing to take the salary. Yes, Seamus Casey for the Devils, too. Yes. Great point, Pineapple. So we don't know what the pick is, but Greenway to the Sabres for a draft pick. We will see what happens here. Who do you think will be in the 2 wild card spots in the East from Blues Freak? I'm not sure. Honestly, the Islanders and the Sabres. That's what I'm going to go with. And you know what? Maybe not the Sabres. It might be this current group because the Sabres really didn't add that much. Pittsburgh looks better with Granlund, Bonino, and Kulikov. I mean, how much is Kulikov going to really help? But not a bad pickup for them. They added some veterans the last 2 days. Ali Desh says, I also remember one All-Star skills competition Fedorov was in fastest. Yeah, dude, that guy in his prime, Sergei Fedorov was extremely good in Detroit. Yep, Greenway to Buffalo for a draft pick is the report. We'll see what it actually turns out to be, but honestly, I think that's a pretty good move for the Sabres. They have the cap space, right? And you're helping out Minnesota there, but I can't imagine the price was too high. Greenway and Tuck on the same line could be nasty. Yeah, that's a great point, Ali Dush. So we don't know what the draft pick is yet, and it was from the 4th period. I can't imagine it's anything more than a 2nd or 3rd round pick. I really can't. Is carrying my fantasy team. Yeah, Tage Thompson's really good this year. Incredible season for him. So Tanner's saying a 2nd and 4th and a 5th, a 2nd and a 5th for Jordan Greenway. Pretty good haul for Minnesota there. Not bad. Blues Freak says, do you think Quick should have been traded or do you think LA should have let him retire with the Kings? So it's a very good question. We talked about this a little bit earlier, Blues Freak, but basically it's the business of the sport. Like the package, they got a good starting goalie as a rental and a good rental defenseman for a first and a third. If you got one of those guys for that price, you probably take that deal. The fact you got both of them for that price, they kinda had to do it. I think Luke Robitaille definitely considered what was involved in that deal, but they had to make it, unfortunately. Yes, I think it was a good move. It sucks how it ends here, but that kind of offer, it's hard to say no as a GM. It really is, and Quick has not been good this year. They've had bottom 5 goaltending from Copley. I think Copley's played a little bit better, but between him and Cal Peterson this year, it's been bad. That tandem has been very bad, and they kinda had to do something, and that's unfortunately what happened here. It really sucks, though. I do feel for Jonathan Quick, and hopefully he turns it around in Vegas. He's gonna have every opportunity in the world under the Golden Knights, but, we'll see what kinda transpires here. Yeah, Buffalo has 17.7 million in cap space. They have so much room. Yeah, they definitely could make a move like this, and that's why I think they've looked at James Van Riemsdyk. If how have they not? He's a rental. They have the cap space. Like, do it. And he's a tough guy. Greenway's kinda tough. That's good sandpaper. Exactly, more grit on that lineup. Yup. The Sabres look pretty good, honestly. Even with Skinner. Remember all that stuff with Skinner? That's a pretty good young team. I mean, Quinn is young, Thompson, Cousins, Middlestat, Krebs, Olofsson, Peterka, Power, Samuelson, Bryson. Those are all very young hockey players, and that's without Dahlin and Tuck in the lineup. Damn. Yup, Devin Levi is a good prospect. No, didn't the Oh, yeah, no, yeah, that's right. Because 'Cause they've got UPL and Devin Levi down there. Yup. Yeah, I didn't mention Levi. You're right, Pineapple. Yup. Yeah, that's a great they've got a lot of good things cooking there, and I really wasn't a fan of Kevin Adams when they brought him in and they made the Eichel trade, but he's proven me wrong so far, honestly. Shout out to Kevin Adams and Don Granato, that whole group in Buffalo. They've really I actually believe in the Sabres a little bit. Like, they've really changed the culture of that team here the past little while. This is a team that's legit, guys. Buffalo is gonna make things interesting here down the stretch. And this is the exact guy you need to do that in a Jordan Greenway. Shazam, yeah. I'm surprised that Lou is watching Aho on a nightly basis and not trading for a steady, smooth skating defenseman. I gotta think Lou's gonna do something here, Shazam. I don't see him not getting somebody. Yeah, because you're right. Like I really want to like Aho. He just isn't there. And that pairing with him and Dobson has been awful. He needs a more experienced defenseman alongside him. Maybe JT Miller to Carolina. I don't know. It could happen. So the Caps signed Nicholas Aube-Kubel to a 1-year extension worth 1.225 million. Okay. I mean, Aube-Kubel has definitely played a little better this year than he's recently played. He has not had a good career recently, but he won the cup last year with Colorado. He kind of fiddled around in Philly for a couple years. He's carving out a career for himself. Shout out to Aube-Kubel. Ali Dash says, "I think my biggest knock on Buffalo is their defense. They lack depth, and they don't have a whole lot of good deep prospects in the system currently to fill these roles." Yeah, yep. I kind of look at them as a team that could maybe over the summer, maybe not now, but if Nashville can't work things out with Dante Fabro, keep an eye on Dante Fabro to Buffalo. I think that would be a really good spot for him to go. It's kind of like a reclamation project. Buffalo maybe gets him a little cheaper than he maybe is worth. Maybe they're able to get something done there. Put him in a good chance where he can succeed. He also said maybe someone more knowledgeable can correct me. No, you're right. You're 100% right. I think. So we have another trade for the Minnesota Wild. Urban's going to be very happy with his Minnesota Wild, as it sounds like Oscar Sundqvist is headed to the Minnesota Wild. Good pickup for the Wild. Another tough guy. You got Sundqvist. You have Reeves in that bottom six. That's a big bottom six. Pretty good pickup. I think that's a good move here for them. Um, again, it's definitely a lot cheaper. He's a rental, so they don't have that. They don't have to worry about his contract moving forward. Oh, Jonathan Quick. And Jonathan Quick goes on the ice as a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. Wow. Yeah, Rob says, yeah, sad to see him go, but good luck in mini. Absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of Red Wings fans will have that same exact thought about him. He was a good player there. And it's the second round pick from the Jack Eichel trade that the Sabres used to get Greenway. And that's exactly what Minnesota wanted to do. They had that deal on tap, but they knew that they needed to get um they knew that they were going to need to move Greenway in order to bring in Sundqvist. And what you're looking at more with this one is Greenway's a longer term contract. They're going to have a lot of money problems even this summer. Starting this summer, they're going to have a lot of money problems. So they get a guy that's a rental. They're able to pick up draft picks as well. Who knows? They might have even flipped that second round pick for him. I'm not sure. We don't know the price yet for Sundqvist, but keep an eye on that one right now. Dryden Hunt looks to be on the move again, this time to Calgary. That's the Calgary Flames' big move, is bringing in Dryden Hunt. Oh my God. Calgary. You want to talk about a loser of the deadline. Brad Treliving, what are you doing? Holy God. Shazam says, perhaps Luke can sign Scott Niedermayer to a 1-year deal. At this rate, that's more likely than them getting Klingberg or any real guy. Holy gosh. Yeah, the Swedish connection. Oh, losing Rasmussen is big for the Wings. That shot to the knee didn't look good. I didn't even see that, Rob. Is Michael Rasmussen done for the year? Did they announce that yet? Ah, crap. That sucks. And he's one of the kids that you'd probably want to see playing here down the stretch, right? He's out for the season. Oh, that's tough. And Sundqvist has been playing pretty good recently. He's been on the ice for a lot of the Red Wings goals that I've seen here the last couple of days. Damn, that sucks. Well, you know what, though? That might be a good chance, though, for guys like Philip Zadina and Joe Veleno to get some more ice time. right? They're gonna have this is their prove it time. They have an opportunity to get more ice time now. They got to take advantage of it, right? With every injury comes an opportunity, right? That's kind of how it goes. The Avalanche really haven't done too much. They picked up Jack Johnson and Lars Eller. I mean, that's kind of a quiet deadline for the Avs. I guess they figure they have the pieces they want, but still, it just seems like they could have done more. Like I'm surprised they weren't in on like an Anthony Mount, not an Anthony Mount. They have him on the screen. They weren't in on a guy like Max Domi. The price for Philip Hronek, honestly, they could have paid the price for Philip Hronek. So I'm not really sure what's going on there in Colorado, but there's new management there. So we'll see. Maybe this is the beginning of the end in Colorado, or they prove me wrong, right? Rob says, I have not been happy with Zadina and was thinking he could have been moved. He definitely isn't filling nets with pucks, but his two-way game is pretty solid. Yeah, exactly. And what he's saying by that is that little quote he said, filling the nets with pucks. All the teams before him that didn't draft him, he wanted to get them back by filling their pucks, or filling their nets with pucks. And like Rob said, it hasn't necessarily worked out that way for Philip Zadina. I was cheering on for Zadina after he said that to prove them wrong kind of thing, but it kind of looks stupid and silly when it doesn't work. So pick to Detroit from Wild for Sundqvist. So we'll probably get that pretty soon here. Whether Isles add or not in the final hour, they got Horvat and Engvall. Sure, a depth defenseman was another need, but all in all, Lamoriello gave this group some much-needed life speed, especially while major players are out. 18 games ago, going to be a doozy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. If the Islanders make the playoffs here, that would be huge if they can get in. And like I said, within the hour, we have seen Jonathan Quick officially become a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. It's official, ladies and gentlemen. And guys, if you can, make sure to like the video as well. We're trying to get to 50 likes. We are so close to 50 likes. So freaking close. So if you guys could do that, that would really help me out. Yeah, so James Van Riemsdyk, Connor Sheary, Pia Suter, Nick Ritchie, Austin Watson, and Sean Monahan all still on the board. And like I said, a pick to Detroit for Oscar Sundqvist to the Minnesota Wild. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, there's been nothing on JVR yet. Connor Sheary. Like I said, I thought Nick Ritchie should have been moved. Yeah, they're talking about Sundqvist. What do they say? Yeah. They're talking about Sundqvist. He is a great fit there, guys. That is so true. Sundqvist comes in there and is going to do probably more than Greenway and cheaper. And it's more economic. It makes more economic sense for the Wild to have Sundqvist, and he's probably going to be better for them. So somehow they got a second and a fifth for a guy that's probably going to be better for them here down the stretch. Maybe not long term, but for this season, I think it's a perfect fit for them. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's what they're kind of saying. They're saying, I mean, look at the guys they brought in. Urban's not in here, but Marcus Johansson, Gustav Nyquist, Oscar Sundqvist, they all fit the same type of mold, right? And the Minnesota Wild have their guy. They have Kaprizov, right? He can fill the puck with nets. But they need the other guys around that. I think this is a great move for them. I think Dean Evanson has a lot to say in some of these guys. These are Dean Evanson guys. Yeah, good job by the Minnesota Wild. I mean, like I said, they didn't have to sacrifice giving up their big draft picks and stuff. So in that sense, it kind of sucks, but they're making the right little moves. Blues Freak says, "What team from the West do you think will make it to the finals?" I've been so torn on that because I haven't seen a capable enough goaltender, honestly, in the Western Conference. Right? Like, is it Colorado, Vegas, Edmonton? Like LA? Maybe now LA does with Corpusalo? That would be very interesting if the LA Kings went to the final this year. But I don't know. I'm torn, guys. I really am. Because, like I said, I usually like to go with the safe bet of a good goaltender. Maybe that means Dallas. Yes, Ali Dash. You just brought that point up. Yeah. Is Ottinger good enough for a playoff run in Dallas? Yeah. I was kind of just thinking that. And that's something that, yeah, the second you wrote that down, I like right as I said that, you were kind of writing that down. Yeah. Like what I'm thinking here, he did it kind of last year, right? Like if it hadn't been for the Oilers, they might have gotten past the first round. So keep an eye out for them. Calgary. He had that good run against Calgary. They lost to Edmonton. That's right. Yeah, I think that is really interesting because Jake Ottinger is really the only. Everybody says that Dallas isn't very good, and I agree with them. But their goaltender can steal games in the playoffs. I don't see any other goaltender that's making the playoffs this year that's gonna do that. Unless I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. Who is the better goalie out there right now than Ottinger on the West Coast? I mean, recently, actually, Ottinger hasn't played that good here over the last couple, like the last month. But really, throughout the entire season up to last month, he has been very good. Jake Ottinger. Yeah, Connor Ingram. Yeah, right. Hellebuck. Yeah, that's true. So what if that's what it came down to? Western Conference Final, Hellebuck versus Ottinger. I think that could happen. The more we kind of breathe this into existence, the more I kind of believe it. Logan Thompson, yeah. Yeah. Or Jonathan Quick. I hate to be criticized Quick, but he hasn't been a good goalie. There's a reason the Kings traded him, even with all that stuff going on. So the Sharks receive Jacob Peterson for Scott Reedy. Dallas gets Scott Reedy. Dryden Hunt to Calgary for Radam Zaorna. That is such a that's such a those are nothing trades, guys. Damn. Yeah, the Western Conference. I mean, if somehow Nashville got into the playoffs, they're 6 points out. Oh, yeah, they're 6 points out. But UC Soros, Hellebuck, I think they messed up the wild card. Oh, no, they didn't. Right? UC Soros, Hellebuck, and Ottinger. I think we can all agree on the West Coast, those are the three best goalies in the Western Conference. And other than that, I don't really have much faith in Jack Campbell. I don't know what's going to happen with Corpusalo in LA. That's maybe a wild card. We've seen what's happened in Colorado. They kind of have been okay, but not great. Logan Thompson in Vegas or Jonathan Quick. Reason they traded him. I don't know. I'm kind of waiting here because I think there's one more in the fire here. I think there's one more move we could see. So there it is. Okay, so Elliot Friedman just said 10 seconds ago he's hearing that James Van Riemsdyk to the Detroit Red Wings. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that. But JVR to Detroit seems like it could be in the works here. Yeah. James Van Riemsdyk to Detroit. Wow. That's what it sounds like. And now we haven't heard anything, but yeah, what is this about? Detroit is such a confusing franchise. They're saying, please trade Robert Haig instead. Please trade Robert Haig for James Van Riemsdyk. I don't know if they're gonna get that. I think so. Yeah, sweet years ago. Yeah. Morgan, what's going on, Morgan? There's been a lot of interesting things here. And guys, if you can get the likes up, we're trying to get to 50 likes here, break a goal line hockey live stream record. 50 likes. Yeah, Morgan is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a lot of weird trades today. Apparently, James Van Riemsdyk is going to the Detroit Red Wings. That's the most recent report we're hearing within the minute. Jacob Verana and Kasperi Kapanen have gone to the St. Louis Blues today, the last couple days. Jordan Greenway goes to the Buffalo Sabres. Brendan Lemieux goes to the Philadelphia Flyers, and Zach McEwen goes to the LA Kings. Vlad Nemesnikov, who got traded to San Jose yesterday, now a member of the Winnipeg Jets. They flipped him. Curtis Lazar goes to the Devils, and a pick goes to the Canucks. And then earlier this morning, Max Domi went to the Dallas Stars in a deal with Dylan Wells. So it's been fairly quiet, but yes, this JVR to Detroit, it sounds pretty much official at this point. A lot more. All of a sudden, this is what's happening. So here we go. Let's see. Nedeljkovic for JVR. No trades for the Knights today, Morgan. Nope. Do you think McDavid could get traded? We've talked about that a little bit. I could see it happening, but realistically, if they stay where they're at right now, maybe. But if they go to the conference finals over the next 2 years, that's going to give them enough of a sense like we can make it, you know? Again, you can't discount anything, right? Gretzky's been traded before. Like, you never know. So James Van Riemsdyk goes to the Detroit Red Wings. We're kind of waiting for the details here. Alex Goligoski is rumored to be on his way out too. Yeah, Blues Freak says the West needs goalies. Yup. Ali Desha is still not as bad as the NBA though. I don't think anyone is a lifer in this modern era. Yup. Yup. 100%. Bergeron is the example that is the difference. Kevin the Gaming Boy, what's going on? He says Lou is quiet. Yep. He might be taking his nap, and then he's gonna just get up from his nap. He's going, oh, get up and do his 3 o'clock press conference because I don't think the Islanders are doing anything. So the Sabres have acquired defenseman Austin Strand from the Ducks for Chase Prisky. Wow, that's the trade I've been waiting all day for. Chase Prisky for Austin Strand. Lou is too busy telling people they're not allowed to have beer. Shout out to Ali Dash. Rob says, for sure, I don't think we'll see Sakic or Yzermans anymore. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're not going to see those lifers anymore. And then going back to manage for those teams, too. That is legit lifer. JVR's on the final year of a $7 million per season deal, a 5-year contract. I think they're talking about the deal here. Yo, shout out to PJ. He did the dumbbell press. Shout out to PJ. And guys, make sure to get the likes up. We're trying to get to 50 likes. We are so close. Yeah, I think a lot of people are shocked that James Van Riemsdyk is going to the Red Wings. It doesn't really make sense, but that's apparently the deal. Deal isn't done as the Red Wings are in the process of moving another player. So the Red Wings are making another move here. So the deal is not done for James Van Riemsdyk. So hold on a second, guys. Rob said, "Can we just say don't do the deal?" So apparently, the reason they haven't traded James Van Riemsdyk yet is they are going to be doing another deal first, and then they're going to make the deal official. So Dylan Larkin for Ivan Provorov official, and then they can announce JVR coming to the Red Wings. Yeah, slight detour with JVR. Yeah. Yes, Urban. Yeah, we were just talking. Yeah, Minnesota um gets Jordan. They get rid of Jordan Greenway and they bring in Oscar Sundqvist from Detroit. Ali Dash said something about religion on YouTube. I don't know. I'm just not a super religious guy. I'm confirmed Catholic and stuff, but I'm not that big of a not that not I'm not into that as much. I think it was a draft pick, Urban. It was a draft pick for Oscar Sundqvist. So they moved out Jordan Greenway. It makes a ton of sense. They get a second round pick and a fifth, and then they bring in Sundqvist, who's probably better. Honestly, he's probably better um than what they were getting from Greenway. So we'll see. We'll see what it does for them. Robert Jorgensen said, "Any updates on the Kraken?" Robert, I hate to break it to you. No, now, there has been reports that they were in on JVR. It sounds like he's going to Detroit, and John Klingberg was rumored also to be going to Seattle, but there's been nothing confirmed yet. So nothing yet on the Seattle Kraken. So yeah, unfortunately, Robert, nothing yet. What is the most disappointing team this season? This season, maybe Columbus. This deadline, it's probably a pretty good fight between Calgary and Seattle because they've done nothing. Wonder if Tampa gets in the defensive market here before the horn heard some things. So Tampa might be adding another defenseman. Is it Klingberg? Oh my god. What are the chances of that? So things are changing fast on JVR. So apparently things are changing fast. So maybe he is not yet a member of the Detroit Red Wings. How funny would that be? So they announced it that he's going to Detroit, and then no, he's actually not going to the Red Wings. How funny would that be? It might be happening here. Told James Van Riemsdyk is not getting traded to the Red Wings. What the hell is going on? So Chris Johnson just said he is not going there now. So now it is not James Van Riemsdyk to the Red Wings. Yes, to the relief of Red Wings fans. What's going on, Morgan? Ali Desh says what's happening in Philly. Unless they trade Provorov here or Kevin Hayes, nothing. Wow. Oh man, here we go, guys. This is the 15 minutes. Yeah, Wings fans can exhale, but then, and we are bringing in Kevin Hayes or JT Miller. How funny would that be if they were like, all right, we're not bringing in JVR, but we're bringing in JT Miller? I think Red Wings fans would freak out. That'll be hysterical, though, honestly. Robert says nobody works the LTIR like Tampa, but Vegas is pretty close. Yep. Yep. And guys, if you can, we're trying to get this to 50 likes. We are so close. We lost a like. We need 7 likes to get to 50. So if you guys can, we are trying to break a goal line hockey record, 50 likes. We are so close, guys. If you can, definitely give a thumbs up. Rob says, Eichmann heard the collective groan of us fans, and he was like, nah. Yep. Thank you much. All right. So apparently it's Patrick Hornquist money. It's some kind of wow. So something happened here. Let's see how it plays out. Something happened with JVR in Detroit, pulled back from the deal. And that's from Elliot Friedman, who first reported the deal. Yep, it is confirmed. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. We're up to 46 likes. Thank you so much. So the trade has been undone. The like back up there. Exactly. Final 10 minutes, guys. We are 10 minutes from the deadline. Blues Freak said you should at least have 10K subs for the content you put out. Thank you. I appreciate that, Blues Freak. We're getting there. We're getting there. Next goal is 4K and 5K and 6K, and then eventually we'll get to 10K. I promise. Will the Wild make one more move? I don't know, Urban. That was kind of a big fastball at the end there with Sundqvist and Jordan Greenway. But we're definitely getting pretty close here to the final minutes here. And we're at 46 likes, guys. We need 4 more likes. Yes, and no, yeah, the deadline is in 10 minutes, but trades will still be announced afterwards as they trickle through. Yep. Yeah, we're probably going to stay another 10 or 15 minutes after the deadline. We're going to be here till 3:15. We will get there. Make sure you post on Twitter when you're going live and when you post videos. Absolutely, Urban. Yep. I've been trying to do that as much as I can. But yes, great advice. Yep. That's what we're looking at. Yeah, this stream has been extremely, extremely successful. A couple big super chats from the Big Bull PJ and Ali Dash. Shout out to those guys. And a couple from Javante. I don't know where Javante went. Oh, they have this stupid UPS commercial. They keep singing that Madagascar song. I like to move it. I don't want to hear that. I move it enough. I don't need to hear UPS singing the weird Madagascar song. Sundqvist to Wild for a 4th rounder this year. That's not bad. Oscar Sundqvist for a 4th round pick. So we'll see what happens here. Yep. Shane Gostisbehere went to the Hurricanes for a 2nd or 3rd. I think it was a 3rd round pick. And Ali Dash says, I don't have any social media other than the Insta account I made solely for Sens News. I follow only 2 accounts. You should be following Goal Line Hockey, Ali Dash. Come on, man. I said 4th, a 6th earlier. That is a decent return. Yes. 2026 draft. Yup. Means more Soderblom for Wings fans, right? I think Red Wings fans will be just fine with that. I will, Kevin. Just feel okay. Thank you, Ali Dash. Just might be retired. before they draft. Surreal says, "Do you have a favorite deadline day deal moment?" In recent history, I've had a couple of interesting ones. I remember vividly recently the Islanders one they made with Pajot. That was a big one for the Islanders when they got Ali Desch's former center, Jean Gabriel Pajot. That was a very exciting one. And when the Islanders traded Matt Molson and a first round pick for Thomas Vanek, and then on that same deadline, the Islanders traded Vanek for a bag of pucks. Total mismanagement by Garth Snow with Thomas Vanek, but I do remember that very vividly, unfortunately. Rob Hubick says Ghost was traded there at the same time as Chikrin. Yep. Yeah, it happened a couple days ago. Yep, Sundqvist to Minnesota for a fourth, so that's confirmed. Toronto receives Radim Zaorna. Calgary receives Dryden Hunt. If that's the only trade Calgary makes today, they are going to hate Dryden Hunt. They're going to be very disappointed with what he's really worth. So let's see what's going on here. We're getting close here. The final 5 minutes before the actual deadline. Robert said, I thought Vancouver is going to be better this year. Yeah, I mentioned earlier in this stream, I said that I talked about my playoff predictions for this year back from September. I saved it on my phone. I had Vancouver as fourth in the Pacific and getting one of those wild card spots, but we know things haven't worked out that way. Stetcher to Calgary. Troy Stetcher to Calgary from Arizona. That's actually not a bad move. Honestly, for Calgary, I'm giving them crap. That's a good move, actually. Not the big move they need, but that's not terrible. Yeah, I think it was Chatfield. Yup. Chatfield and Ghost, I think, is playing together. Yup, that's true, Tanner. Yup. That's what I've seen, and now that I'm seeing Canes fans say that, yeah. Stetcher's actually pretty good. And for Daryl Sutter, that's a perfect fit. Daryl Sutter and Troy Stetcher, I think he actually had him in LA. So that actually makes a ton of sense too. Shazam says, I guess Lou is done. Horvat and Engvall look to be it. Let's see here. There's a couple minutes left, but I think you're right, Shazam. I think the Islanders, for the most part, are done. If you guys can, I have 19 followers on our Twitter. Follow us at goal_hockey for the latest live streams that I'll be doing. Make sure to follow us on there. And we're still waiting on JVR, guys. This is unbelievable, this whole JVR thing. Man. So I'm kind of waiting for JVR to the basement. Yo. Yeah, we're getting pretty close here to the top of the hour, and I am shot. I feel it. I'm hungry already. I had 3 slices of pizza earlier, and I'm already hungry. And I still have to go to work tonight, but you do what you got to do. And guys, 3 likes. There has to be 3 of you in here that haven't liked the video. Make sure to like the video. We're so close to 50. It's going to kill me if we don't get to 50. Yeah, Carolina did okay. They got Goss to spare. They did get Puljujarvi. They didn't do terrible at the deadline, but I think they could have done a little bit better, right? I think a lot of people are kind of they feel that way. Like there's something missing there. Your shot Wild played at Vancouver last night, 9 p.m. start. Thank you, Ali Dash. Shout out to Ali Dash, the goal line hockey and personal. Thanks, Ali Dash. You're the man. Now he follows 4 counts. Were you happy that the Sens spoiled Kane's debut with the Rangers? Oh, Blues freak, you have no idea how happy I was watching that game. It was pretty funny. I mean, listen, I hope the best for Kane in New York. He does well there. I just hope they don't get a cup. But to be honest, his debut, so many Ranger fans were excited for Kane and this and that. And then they had the third period lead and blew it. I can't say I was definitely a little bit entertained, to say the least. Yeah, honestly, see, that's the thing with the Hurricanes, right? Like, everybody's been saying they need to make the big move. They really don't, though. Like, their top six, Svechnikov, Teravainen, Aho, Kotkaniemi, Jarvis, Natchez. They could use a center, though. I think Kotkaniemi at second line center, that's a little bit concerning. And that's kind of why I get they looked at Nick Schmaltz and some of those other guys. I think they could have used a center. For the most part, though, they're pretty good. Patrick Brown from Philly to Ottawa. So is that Patrick Brown making a return to Ottawa? I think he has played for the Senators in the past. The Flames have acquired Dryden Hunt. We already did that. Troy Stetcher has been traded to the Flames. We already mentioned that. Not bad. Oh, Patrick Brown. He's got a really good mustache. If you look up old pictures of Patrick Brown, you'll know what I'm talking about. Great stash. Great stash. He's got the little curlies at the end. It's pretty sick. Patrick Brown's a tough guy, too. That's a good pickup for the Senders. Leafs did get a defenseman, too. I forgot the name, though. He's coming from Carolina is done. From the Flyers. Patrick Brown played for the Flyers. Yeah, yeah. Look up Patrick Brown NHL. Yeah, because he's a very interesting looking dude. So Hurricanes are done. Rasmus Asplund from Buffalo to Nashville. So Buffalo makes another move here. Rasmus Asplund to Nashville. All right. There might be more coming here. Nashville is also extending Dante Fabro. So Dante Fabro trade rumors can be finished. And Frank Saravelli says that told James Van Riemsdyk was not traded prior to the deadline. So JVR not going to the Red Wings, not getting traded at all. Patrick Brown goes to the Senators from the Flyers for a 6th-round pick in 2023. And like I said, Rasmus Asplund from the Buffalo Sabres to Nashville. Interesting. And for Sharks fans out there, the Sharks have just called up William Eklund, their top draft pick in last year's NHL draft. William Eklund is coming back to the San Jose Sharks. Surreal says, great stream, Kev. I sure enjoy hearing you talk about hockey knowledge and intake on the game. Yep. Thank you, Surreal. Tanner says, if Boston can improve the Hurricanes, can certainly improve as well. Yeah, that's true. JVR not moved. Yep. The trade deadline is passed. Columbus is done. Carolina's done. Shout out to Toe if he's still in there. The Capitals have nothing in the queue, and they are done. So no Connor Sheary trade. The Kings have traded Austin Wagner to the Blackhawks for future considerations. So the Blackhawks get a little bigger on the blue line. Blues Freak said, I would hate to be a wild card team in the East. Yep. The Islanders and the Penguins right now are in the danger zone. Absolutely. It could get ugly. What a week. Best deadline ever. Honestly, because of the circumvention of the cap, honestly, yeah. This has been a very good, entertaining trade deadline. 1 year, 2.5 for Fabro. Thank you, Urban. Yeah, that's a good move. A prove it deal. He's really struggled this year. He's supposed to be a good prospect. Just hasn't worked out for him. So I hope that Dante Fabro gets his game back. Next season, he's going to have more ice time. Joel Edmondson was not moved. The Habs are done for the day. No Sean Monahan trade as well. Nashville sends a 7th rounder in 2025 to Buffalo for Rasmus Asplund. One-year deal prorated at $750K for Alex Chason. It's a one-way contract with the Red Wings. So Alex Chason signs with the Red Wings. Interesting. Makes these trade deadline day streaks less exciting, but the whole week is fun this way. Absolutely. And we had stuff to talk about at least for the week, right? So whether, it wasn't necessarily today, but it was still pretty good. You know, we had stuff to talk about. It could have been worse, right? It could have been worse. If it was just the trades we saw today and none of the other stuff, it would have been a lot worse. But it actually turned out to be fairly good. Hey guys, if you can, make sure to like the video. Guys, we are 2 likes away. We are so close before I close up this stream. Carrie Bettman sabotage aside. Yes, yeah, that did happen earlier. Guys, thank you so much. We are 1 like away. Greenway got the boot, LMAO, and we got a 2nd and 5th. I love Bill Guerin. Yeah, that was a really good deal by Guerin for Bill Guerin to make that move. A 2nd and a 5th for Greenway. That's a win, honestly. Yeah, 1 more like, guys. We are so freaking close. Thank you guys so much. We've made it just after 3 o'clock. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. Shazam said Engvall is the top liner we needed. Exactly. Arizona has a boatload of future picks. I think they have like over 20. They have like 25 picks. Thank you guys so much. We've gotten to 50 likes. A new Goal Line Hockey Live record. Yeah. Who unliked it? I knew somebody was gonna do it. Somebody was gonna do it. You guys are too much. From Darren Drager, he says Besser and JT Miller remain Vancouver Canucks. So no Besser trade, no Miller trade, not happening. I knew somebody was going to unlike just to do that. I wonder how close they came to moving Miller and Besser. I wonder too. I do. I think the problem with Besser is that salary, and now Miller, the this is a grim moment for the Canucks because now their chances of moving Miller is going to be really difficult. To get Miller now, not going to be fun. I can tell you right now. JT Miller is going to be stuck there for a while. Rob says, looks like I can now drop Besser from my fantasy team. Was hoping for a trade. Yeah, Miller's contract is huge. Yeah. And I could see them revisit it, Urban. Besser's going to be a summer trade on Minnesota. Yeah. The extension is 8/8. Yup. 8-year deal, 8 million per season for JT Miller. Starts July 1st. This new regime, you thought they were going to fix things, and then they do that. They did not need to do that so early. Did it way too early in the game. Oh, heard Pajot is skating back in the lineup tomorrow. I heard that he wasn't skating. I know Barzell isn't, but we might be waiting a real long time on Barzy again. But so this is from Martin. He said, as a group, we're thrilled that management has decided to make that push and not go the other direction. He's made the moves necessary to give us an opportunity, and it's on us to go out there and capitalize. And that's the Islanders' Matt Martin. That's great. So the Islanders they seem ready to go. John Klingberg has been traded to the Minnesota Wild. Urban. The Ducks got it in just under the wire. So John Klingberg is a member of the Minnesota Wild. A big pickup here, really close to deadline time. Yep. John Klingberg. We're waiting for the details, but Klingberg is going to the Minnesota Wild. That's from Pierre LeBrun. Man, pretty good day here. A couple of days for the Minnesota Wild. They pick up a good mobile defenseman. No, I'm serious. This is from Pierre LeBrun. John Klingberg to the Minnesota Wild. Yep, Elliot Friedman just confirmed it. And we're kind of waiting on the details here. Showing up on the TSN tracker. Kalen Addison, maybe. I'm surprised that they didn't move him if they didn't. He might be a part of the deal here. But I'd be surprised Garen would move Kalen Addison at the buzzer like that, right? Okay, so here we go. So hearing the Flames are getting Troy Stetcher and Nick Ritchie in exchange for Connor Mackey and Brett Ritchie. Have we ever seen is that true? A brother for brother trade? So Troy Stetcher and Nick Ritchie in exchange for Connor Mackey and Brett Ritchie. I had Connor Mackey maybe getting traded, just not necessarily the way I thought it would go. Alex Goligoski is staying with the Wild, wasn't asked to move his no-move clause. Full Calgary, Arizona trade. Brothers get traded for each other. That sucks. They could have been together on the same team, but they were traded for each other. That's kind of ballsy. That's kind of messed up. And the Devils are done for the day. No updates for the Devils. Let's get it up to 50 likes. We are at 49 likes. If you guys can get it up one more like, I would definitely appreciate it. So the Devils are done. The Hurricanes are done. The Canadians are done. And we are waiting on a John Klingberg return. Rob says, thanks for the live stream. Was a good day. Hope to make another one soon. Yep. We'll see you again next time, Rob. And keep watching the live streams. I definitely appreciate that, man. Ron Francis does nothing in Seattle. Yup. Ali Desh asked if Goligoski got moved. He did not. Nope. No move for Alex Goligoski. Hope to make another one soon. Thank you. Like I said, I'm probably going to leave after the Klingberg deal, but if you guys want to see the Klingberg deal, stick around a little bit longer. Let's see what we got here. One more deal in the pipeline. Yeah, Urban. Yeah, that's kind of tough. Imagine getting traded for your brother. Yeah, that's tough. That is pretty tough. So the Ducks were able to unload some of those guys. They moved Kulikov. They were able to move Klingberg. Klingberg and Kulikov, both gone. Klingberg from the Ducks. I'm kind of waiting to see what the return is. I wonder if they use the second round pick from Greenway. Because that would actually be a good return if I'm a Ducks fan. If they are able to get a second for him, it might actually, that might be the return. We're kind of waiting here, but we are very close here. Should be getting some confirmation here in a second. So Patrick Brown, Isles and Crickets. Yup. Hearing Minnesota for Klingberg since they're going after all the Swedes. Yup. He is a UFA though, Urban, so it's probably not as bad as you think it is. It actually might not be too bad here. And I'm sure they retained. I'm sure Anaheim retained. Yeah, if they might have traded Addison. I'm not sure. I saw Minnesota trade, but that they're still catching up with the Oscar Sungfish trade, which we've talked about now for 10 minutes. So we're still waiting patiently for this John Klingberg trade here. Think that that's it for Leafs. Dubas speaking in half hour in Vancouver. So the Leafs are done. The Devils are done. The Canucks are done. The Islanders are done. The Habs are done. So we're getting some confirmation of the teams that are officially done. Isles done. I think so, Shazam. Unfortunately, I think the Islanders are done. Because I think one of the guys they might have been waiting for could have been John Klingberg, but he is going to the Minnesota Wild. And we're still waiting on a return here. Yeah, they're talking to Jonathan Quick right now on the broadcast. Hopefully he does well there. I really hope so. He's been there for so long. Man. Knock him out so bad. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm trying to hold out, but it's not. I don't think it's happening. All right, guys. That's it for today's stream. Let me know what you guys think down below. What do you guys have going on? And that's kind of what we're looking at. Actually, hold on. Hold on. I might be able to stick around. Still lots of details unfolding. Hold on. I'm going to stick around for a minute, guys. Hold on. It sounds like there's still stuff in the queue that they're waiting to kind of finalize. Aho is a disaster in that spot. Yeah, the Islanders really needed help on the blue line. I'm definitely upset about that. But that's whatever. It is what it is with Lou. Yeah, honestly, this deadline has been kind of interesting. It's been weird. We had the little drama with JVR traded to the Red Wings. Then he wasn't traded to the Red Wings. And now John Klingberg, we're waiting on confirmation what the deal could be. Could it be Kalen Addison? Is it the second round pick they just got for Jordan Greenway? There's a couple of little things we're looking at here. Potentially a deal we're still waiting on. Dante Fabro, so we knew that. He signs a 1-year deal. So we're going to wait and see what happens here. Yeah. Hold up. Hold up. Yeah, they're definitely dragging it a little bit here, but we're doing the best we can. Max Domi will wear number 18 with the Dallas Stars. And a heartfelt thing here from Joe Smith. He said Jordan Greenway saying his goodbyes on his way out of Calgary. Was traded by the Wild to Sabres for a second rounder and a fifth. There's some embraces there as Jordan Greenway gets ready to dip out of Minnesota. Wow. Just like that. Just hope Garen doesn't shake my trust with this move. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's kind of weird, right? Like the fact that Detroit was even in on James Van Riemsdyk, like why are they in on him even in the first place? So it's kind of weird seeing how this whole thing has kind of gone down because, again, it's like, are they ready to make the move? Are they not going to make the move? Who's got a better offer out there? All right, so here we go. So the return, guys, thank you for the likes. So this is Joe Smith. John Klingberg return for the Minnesota Wild, sending a fourth-round pick in 2025. Andre Schuster and the rights to Nestorenko. The Ducks are retaining half the salary of Klingberg. So no Kalen Addison, no top 3 round draft picks, a 4th-round pick, Andre Schuster, and the rights to Nestorenko. So that's what we're looking at. That is the trade that's been kind of holding up here. And I'm going to give it another couple of seconds here. With the Klingberg to Mini deal, we're currently at 17 trades on the day so far. 17 trades today. Meanwhile, we've had like 20 trades yesterday, 20 trades on Wednesday, 20 trades on Thursday, and then 17 on deadline day. Yeah, Urban, that's a good deal for Klingberg. A 4th, Schuster, right? He goes back to Anaheim. He's been there before. And Nestorenko, unless Nestorenko turns into this great phenom Russian guy, good move by the Minnesota Wild. Once again, good pickups here. They're not the big moves here by Klingberg, but they're the moves that they need right now. And it's not giving up the farm. Huge win for Bill Guerin today, honestly. And we're still waiting on anybody else. I really haven't seen anything. You know, they're still talking about the Nick Ritchie, Brett Ritchie trade. John Klingberg trade went through. I don't know Nestorenko, so Guerin is golden. There you go. Blues Freak says, with all these trades, they might as well have a fantasy draft. Yeah, right? You guys, nonetheless, a very successful day. 51 likes. Almost 5 hours of streaming. And a bunch of super chats that I will announce officially, but we are going to be having a stream desk soundboard here in our spot, and I cannot wait to get that in here for you guys to see it, but it will be coming in the next few days. So very excited for that. Thank you guys so much as always. You guys are the best. Andrew says, no, not trading Varlamov was a huge mistake. Sorokin can play every game going forward, so now he walks for nothing. How do you not recoup picks for him? Andrew Gross says, you'd still need a decent backup goalie if you moved Varley. There were 3 back-to-backs in March. You have to guard against injury, and you don't want to be the Pens last season in the playoffs. If it helps, consider Varley a playoff rental at this point. That costs nothing. Exactly. Hashtag in Guerin, we trust. Yep. There has been talk in recent weeks that Nestorenko didn't plan to sign with the Wild, so that might have been part of the reason Nestorenko left. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. Guys, thank you so much for watching us. You guys are the best. We've had over 5 hours of live streaming today, a ton of different trades. We'll go over it here over the next couple of days. But, guys, let me know what you think down below. Make sure to like the video. And, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this stream, and I'll see you again next time. Peace.